Okay, we are live. I'm late, as per usual. I don't know why I'm like this, but I am. But I'm here. Hi, Faith. Faith is already in the chat. Yes. So, Cheyenne, would you like to say some random stuff in order to make sure that they can hear you okay? Because, my mic is very loud in my ears, and maybe it's on my end. But I want to make sure your levels are okay.
Howdy.
Howdy! Yes. So can everyone hear Cheyenne okay? Comment if you're here and you can hear her. Yeah. So, what's up, Cheyenne?
My house and hotel room because the photo shoot tomorrow morning.
Oh, nice!
The hotel.
Nice! What's the photo shoot for?
It's for my.
Oh, you're cutting in and out, girl. I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's see. I don't know why you are cutting in and out, but I'll turn up my headphones. I think it's linked. Yeah, they're saying you're a little bit quiet, but that's all. I wonder if that's on my end. I'll turn up my headphones, because it's linked to my preamp, so maybe if I play with my preamp. Sorry, you want to talk about that again? So you have a photo shoot tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna photo shoot tomorrow. My Patreon stuff. It's gonna be Saucy Raven.
Ooh.
Ryoko Matoi from Kill la Kill.
Nice. Where do you find your photographers for the photos?
Actually, this one I have now, my friend Rabbit from Not Scary Farm, actually.
Oh, nice.
Does all of my photos. Absolutely.
Cool.
A pleasure to work with.
Aw, I love that. Work with people you know, because you never know, you know? For sure. Okay, so, you're still cutting in and out, and I don't know if that has anything to do with my end or yours, but hopefully we'll get through it. We'll get through it. It'll be fine. And people in chat, just let me know if sound levels, etc. are okay or need to be changed. I will be checking the chat, so let me know and I'll play around with it. I was having a few issues with my mic earlier, so I did what I could, but I could play around with other things. So just let me know. But let's get officially started, shall we? I was personally a bit late, but we got a few people in the stream now, so hopefully people will join in later too if they want. But yeah, so hi, I'm Noelle, also known as Charge and Die on Instagram, TikTok, and all the things. I'm a professional scare actor. I tell SCAREACTOR stories as my main content, so I decided since I couldn't scare this year because my haunt was canceled thanks to the mess, I thought it'd be fun to interview fellow SCAREACTOR friends of mine about their scare acting experiences and get a chance for them to tell their stories. I have a guest with me today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Cheyenne. I'm at Not Scary Farm. I have for about 3 years now. I'm on streets. Super fun. As Peppered Up Cosplays on Instagram. Ribbon with 2 eyes.
She cut out a little bit, but she is Peppered Up Cosplays on Instagram and Ribbon on TikTok with 2 eyes, so RIIBBON. So yes, follow her on all the things. She's amazing. So Cheyenne is actually a good friend of mine. We met doing theater, how many years ago? Jesus.
I want to say like 4.
I want to say 4
like 4
too. Wait, no. Was it only 2? We met in 2018.
Yeah.
So 2. It feels like 4 in a good way. In a good way. We feel like we've known each other forever. Maybe it was 4. I don't know. But we met doing theater, and then we just happened to have a lot of stuff in common, including the scare acting thing. My main haunt is Halloween Horror Nights. Hers is Not Scary Farm. But she's very talented at what she does, and she's just a little ball of fun. And there's a cat behind me messing with my backdrop, so cats may make an appearance, just to warn people. But yeah, so I will be checking the chat. If you are here in the live stream and you have any questions for Cheyenne or about scare acting in general, feel free to comment. I will be reading those throughout. Otherwise, Cheyenne and I are just gonna catch up for a bit. It's been a while since we chatted. So, Cheyenne, how did you get started in scaring?
I went to the regular Knott's Berry Farm during their Ghost Town Alive event. Met somebody who worked there, who also worked at Knott's Scary Farm. He was like, hey, you like acting, and you should come to Knott's Scary Farm. Alright, why not? And I just auditioned. And I have never been to a haunt in my life. Like, it was going to be my very first experience going to any Halloween scary related anything. Not even like haunted houses, because I get scared incredibly easily.
I didn't know that about you. Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so I auditioned, and then I got my first role in 2017 is when I started in Paranormal Inc., the maze that they have there, as the front room, like, show host person. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, was it normally go to a guy or something, and then they thought you were just so creepy, they were like, we have to cast her in this.
Yeah. Yeah, like, because the main character is supposed to be kind of like, parodying ghost stories or, like, ghost adventures where, like, the main guy's, like, you know, big bimbo, like, I will fight the ghosts kind of a guy. Here I am, tiny little ginger, can't hurt a fly, and I'm in this role. It was a lot of fun because our cast lead, who was working with me and the other two people who were in that position, and after the curtain drops and everything, just go buck wild, do whatever you want. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be possessed. And I started being able to figure out I could do several back bends, my arms backwards, and like all this crazy stuff. And I was like, wow, this is great.
She had no idea she was flexible at all, and she just went for it. Just drop, back bend. I could do 3 flips in the air. I had no idea.
Aerobatic pirouette in the air.
That's funny. And then the next year you were in a scare zone, I remember, because I went to see you one day when Halloween Horror Nights wasn't working. We took over the park at Not Scary Farm, and I specifically messaged Cheyenne. I'm like, you're working tonight, yeah? I'm gonna find you. I had literally never been to Knott's Berry Farm, let alone Knott's Scary Farm. I had no idea it was even a theme park, to be honest. So I was like, where do I go? It's so much bigger than I thought it was. And you said, what was it? You were in Ghost Town? What is it called?
Yeah, I was in Ghost Town Streets.
Ghost Town Streets. Yeah.
Yeah, I was the War Widow.
Yes, I loved your costume and makeup, by the way. You did all that yourself, yeah?
Not the makeup, because we have makeup people there. But the costume I did get to make myself.
Nice.
So that was really fun.
Yeah, check her Instagram for reference photos. I'm pretty sure you have a couple of those on there back in 2018. And I remember looking at the map and going, okay, Ghost Town, and that's like half the park. Cheyenne, where are you? Like, I need landmarks. I've never been here. And there was so much fog, so I couldn't find you. And I was just wandering around. I purposely wore a very unusual sweater so that my friends would be able to find me better, easier than I were to find them. Because I don't know what you guys look like in your costumes, but you know what I look like. So I wore this blue leopard print sweatshirt, and I said, look for the blue leopard. I'm going around, I'm gonna try and find you. And I got so frustrated. I was like, I don't know where I am. I took a weird turn. Everything was foggy. And then all of a sudden, you popped out of the fog, and you were like, wah! I was like, oh, there's that change. She understood it was me, and it was great. Like, out out of nowhere, you just popped out and found me, and it was great. That's what I remember. And then you were the Lake Streets last year, right?
Yeah, this last year I was in Forsaken Lake as a griever. The best part about that zone position that I have is that we have a giant funeral procession every couple of hours. And there's actually 3 or 4 griever spots, and every single show it's a different griever popping out of this giant mausoleum. We just get to scream our heads off and cry and then get dragged away by the grievers, and it's like a very kind of show moment. But with that character, because you know we're all drowned lake zombies, basically, it's very fancy New Orleans zombies, basically.
Vintage.
And I thought, oh, we're drowned and we're in a lake, so I found this seed-looking material off of Amazon, bought it, tied it in several knots, and left a loop on the end, put it in my mouth, and then I would loop it through my finger, pull it out, and like hang it over people and just like make the most disgusting guttural sound as I did it. And that was my thing. I was the puke girl.
I wish I could have seen you do that, because the only time Glenn and I saw you was for that like procession that you said, where you burst out of the mausoleum screaming your head off. How is that makeup and costume wise? Did you have to like get completely out of makeup and costume, do that, and then get back in just to do it again a few hours later? Like, how did that work?
No, so it's just the regular makeup that we have and costume, except for like this big old bonnet. You take the bonnets off, give them to stuff backstage where like all of our procession props are, bust out of the mausoleum so that everybody can like see our faces clearly. I walk back, grab our bonnet, and go back.
Ah, okay,
so
cool.
We're prepped and ready throughout the whole time. And the griever costumes are actually all the costumes in Forsaken. They're kind of heavy. They're actually made out of couches, like couch material.
Oh, like upholstery, really heavy duty stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you scare in something that heavy? Jeez.
I don't know, it's all, you like gotta get in the groove of getting into the zone and position, and it's a lot of fun and self-discovery in this movie.
Yeah, so if you were not into haunts and scary things before, do you feel after scaring for a while, you've kind of grown used to it, and what am I trying to ask? So is being scared the same amount as being scared as before, or are you better now? Words are hard.
I'd say that I've got better at getting scared, because when I get like really scared, I don't like scream, but then I laugh a lot. And it's kind of like, is she laughing?
Nervous
like,
laughter. So you still get scared going through, but it's not as like you have more fun with it.
Yeah.
Okay, Cat.
I know, especially like at Knots, going through the mazes and everything, it's all of my friends, so like everybody targets you if they know that you're coming through, and you get all of the scares.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's great when you go through as a character knowing your friends are gonna be scaring you, because they go all out. They're like, I'm gonna freaking slap her. No, not really, but like I'm gonna steal her away. Let's turn to the chat real quick, see what I've been missing. Let's see, Sasu and Sandy, she's a little quiet. Okay, so hopefully I fixed that. Sasu, any favorite mazes or zones? Have you worked in mazes or just zones? Have you visited haunts as a guest? Those are 3 different questions, same person.
So which question first?
Let's do the first question first. Any favorite mazes or zones?
Well, actually, my favorite maze that's actually not at Knott's anymore was Tooth Fairy. 2017, I actually first worked, or it was my first year working. I went through that one, and that kind of made really because they had like a lot of. There was this one hallway where it was like screen. It just showed the inside of a mouth, blood spewing out and like screaming, and I'm just like, ooh, that's uncomfortable. But other than that, like it was a really, really good maze. And this past year in 2019, just the new Ghost Town maze. I forgot what it was. Curse of Calico. That one was also really good because in the center of it, they have this big open space and the witch on the system, and she flies around the entire like room, and it's so cool because like as soon as I walked in there, I was like, oh, this is oh no! And she was just going around. I was like, oh my god!
I think I remember.
Really, really cool.
That was a 2018 or
2019.
2019, so not 2018, because I remember something similar in 2018, which it had a witch, but I don't think it had the pulley on a broom.
I think that one was Trick or Treat, because Trick or Treat went away last year.
Trick or Treat was with the flashlights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. The only time I went through was, let's see, 2018 I went through and I saw you. Oh, 2019 was when I went through. That's right. So I did go 2019. I do remember the witch. That's why I got confused, because I was like, I only went in 2018. No, I did go last year with Glenn. That's right. Okay, so I do remember it correctly. Cool. So Tooth Fairy, you said, was your favorite maze. And then the Curse of Calico. Have you worked in mazes or just zones? Oh, Jarrett's here.
Jarrett!
Hi, Jarrett.
My king!
Hi. All right, have you worked in mazes or just zones? You worked in both, yeah?
Yeah, I've worked in both. Maze was my very first year in Paranormal, and I absolutely loved it. Like, that maze will forever be my baby. And then Ghost Town in 2018, Forsaken Lake.
Right. And then you were also training to be a slider, too, right?
Yes. I was going to try to be a slider this past year, but the Griever dresses is not a sliding at all. Dresses are, like, very heavy and would also rip if not, like, held properly, so I didn't get to do any sliding. But hopefully next year I will.
Yeah, hopefully. That'd be cool. And then you also have the sparkers, too, right? No?
Can make sparks, but it kind of just depends on how hard you press your steel toes on the ground, if it'll create sparks. It's kind of just like a hit or miss friction.
Gotcha. Okay. And then have you visited haunts as a guest?
Yes. After 2018, I started visiting all kinds of different haunts. I've Universal, and I've seen Noelle a bunch of times.
I booped her nose to let her know it was me. I remember it was kind of the same thing as, like, me finding you, because, like, you were like, oh, I'm over here now, and I'm over here now, and I'm like, I'm letting you know what my set times are. You find me, because I can't see out of my mask at all. And then I was, like, doing a scare, and then all of a sudden I saw your face, and you were like, ah! And I was like, boop! Hi!
Yeah. But yeah, I've been to Universal Studios Haunt. What haunts are there?
Have you done Queen Mary? Because I still need to do that one.
Yes, Queen Mary. That's the one I haven't been able to make my way to Six Flags yet. But next year, if haunt happens.
Yeah. Yes. Let's see. What was your most embarrassing moment acting? Getting right to the nitty gritty. Evie TMR Chris. Sorry if I miss saying usernames.
Let's see. An embarrassing thing.
Just putting you right on the spot.
Yep. I gotta say, like, kind of the embarrassing moments are when, like, you go up to scare somebody, and they're kind of just like walking, and they're like, me, and then they walk again, and they walk away, and you're kind of just sitting there like,
that wasn't
okay.
a scream?
Just go on with your night.
Am I scary? I definitely had that 1-2 sidestep going on for some guests before. That's embarrassing as hell. I was like, I go this way. No, you go that. I go this way. Okay, bye.
Yeah, just tiptoeing with guests. Just like, okay, I'm gonna. No? Okay.
And now we're dancing. Cool. What was your favorite time scaring people?
I want to say like one of the most favorite times is when you're really on a roll and you're so tunnel vision into your roll in your spot that you're just getting scares left and right. I would actually, this past year as a griever, remember I had a reoccurring nightmare when I was a child, where it was like, I would be down a very long, dark hallway, just like kind of staring. All that I would see is like this side profile silhouette of like a just sitting at a table. I try to, but in dream logic, I would make a slight sound and thing, call it a corpse, just sit up, turn, just stare for a couple minutes, and yet dream heart pounding, and then I would try to move again, just automatically stand up and kind of float super fast straight at me, and then I would wake up like right before it like grabs me. And I kind of accidentally embodied that like quick like the whole movement of that corpse during this past year, because I would just kind of be walking along all slow and sad and just like notice somebody in the peripheral like, do you see her? And then just stop and look and just stare at them with like that seaweed stuff hanging out of my mouth. And just we would have a staring contest for a good couple minutes. And you know, they'd just be sitting there freaking out. And then I would just turn the rest of my body and they'd be like, no. I'd be like, yeah. And then I'd like extend my hands and just chase them. And I got a really good couple of chases, and my dress was big enough at the bottom that if I like kind of skittered my feet when I ran, it looked like I was floating. And other people in my zone would be like, that's scary. That is freaky. So, yeah, that's like the best thing that I found during this past year was being able to embody one of my childhood nightmares.
Make it work for you. That's freaking awesome, I gotta say. That's awesome. Sasu say any wholesome friendship stories? Yep. Oh, they went hardcore vintage using legit upholstery material? Yes, they did. Jarrett, where is the scariest place you've ever been or want to go?
No, I wanna... Are you talking, like, or just, like, scary places?
I don't know. Let's say in general, are there any, like, haunted places you'd love to hunt ghosts in or something, or...
I know that I believe it's, like, this beach in Italy, or it could be Ireland, where it's, like, I think it's at the bottom of the cliff, but it's bones. Like, all human remains, just bones. It's a bone beach. And, like, you know, I collect skeletons and skeletal things, so I'm all about that. But that place is supposedly haunted. I'd like to visit this one graveyard. It actually popped up on my news feed today. It's an incredibly haunted graveyard where the people, I think, gotta, like, sign a waiver in order to...
Wow.
Because people get haunted by spirits that just kind of latch on. If you're giggling, hurt at this place because, you know, spirits They're like, get out of me graveyard! Smack!
And you want to willingly go.
Yeah!
That sounds like fun. Let's do that. That'll be a girls' day. Let's go. Get haunted. Let's bring home the spirit.
Yeah. Have some tea with some dead people.
Hell yeah. I'll make scones. Scones. Sorry, British boyfriend. Knights in darkened armor. Hello. Josh Levine, hello. Knights in darkened armor. What's your favorite reaction from a guest? Now we're getting to scare actor stories. Let's go.
I remember it's actually happened twice. There was this both years in street zones, different people. I would scare them, and they'd be like, "Ah, I love you." Like, stop. It would just be like that.
I know.
Where it's just like, stop. You're pissing me. But,
Stop. I love you.
In character voice, it doesn't sound that nice. I talk like Beetlejuice, basically, from the Beetlejuice musical. Just, oh, stop! You stop! It's very, guttural and disgusting.
Just like an old woman who's been smoking 90 years.
Right?
Stop! I love you too.
Don't stop, you damn.
Oh, I'm blushing. I love the guttural stuff. It ruins your voice, though. Be careful with that. Speaking of, I need to drink more water. So, Midnight the Fox. What's the most wholesome, cute, sweet scare that has happened so far?
Okay, so, I've made friends, like children friends at Haunt who have come back to see me. Last year, or in 2018, when I was in Ghost Town, the War Widow, there was just this group of girls, and I would go around the group and pick out and be like, "Oh, this, I like that." They were loving it, and there was just this little girl, and I don't know what her action, but I named Daisy. So I was like, "I'm going to put you in a very special place. I'm gonna put you 6 feet in the ground." And she was not having it. She was scared, child, so small, and I would just kind of loom over, and she would be back bending, and I'd be bending over her. I'm gonna put you 6 feet underground, and you're gonna push up beautiful little Daisy. Isn't that right, my little Daisy? And she'd be like, yeah. And they kept that same group kept coming back nights afterwards, and they would seek me out, and the little girl would be like, "Hi, it's Daisy," and I'd be like, "Daisy!" And the rest of the group would be like, "Oh, can I have a name? Can I have a name?" I'm like, "No, Daisy's the only one that gets a name."
Oh.
And this last year, she actually found me. She was like, "I don't mean to have you break character, but I'm Daisy. Does that mean anything to you?" And I was like, "Daisy!" She's like, "It's you!" So that's just one of the super wholesome. I scared another child this year, very tiny girl, maybe 5 years old. And I had a stick somebody sent over from the Hollows to just have this thing in knots where we pick random things up and tell people deliver this to so-and-so in the Hollows. Deliver this to this specific scarecrow, and they'll do it. And then they'll send things back. So I had this stick. I was trying to cheer her up and make her feel more comfortable. I was like, "You want to scare with me?" She was like, "Uh-huh." And so I had her hold the other end of the stick, and I was walking this child with this stick in hand. And I'd go up to my other cast members, or my other scarers, and they would do it, or she would do it, and they would get scared, and it was just this super cute thing, and she'd be coming back with her parents, and she'd want to stay with me, and I'm like, "No, you have to go with your parents.
Aww.
I can't adopt you." But cute, wholesome moment
Aww.
with children.
Adopting children. I love it. Let's see. What was the best reaction from a guest, and what scare caused it?
Well, with my, my, like, seaweed thing that I had this past year.
I love that.
I made a few people pee their pants. I've also made people throw up with me. So it's just the initial, because, like, they don't know that it's in my mouth, because it kind of, like, goes down my throat, and I keep it in my tongue, or, like, under my tongue, so it, like, doesn't go all the way down. And so I'd be talking to people in character, like, about the lake, and just, like, totally like, oh, come join the lake, it's nice and wet, you can be a mermaid, but dead, and less pretty, like, all that kind of stuff. I'd be like, so do you want to see a trick? It's a very beautiful, nice, cute trick, and they'd be like, I guess. And I got this one girl really good, she was kind of snooty, like, yeah, sure, let me see your trick, you're not scary. And I pulled it out and, like, held it, and she immediately went, and it turned around in the planters and threw up, and I was like, I put it back in my mouth, and I was like, ah! And her friends were sitting there laughing and, like, trying to console her, and I went about my merry way. Like,
bravo!
Like, foaming out of my mouth.
God, that's
those
awesome.
Kind of scares. You make people pee or puke.
Oh yes, the bio scares.
Oh.
Can we make that a thing? Is that a thing? I just named it bio scares right now. Let's do it. We're gonna make it a thing. Bio scare. Trademarked. From Jarrett, how has it been dealing with no scaring this year? Well, you scared this year, right?
Yes. I got to scare at LA Haunted Hayride for one night. It was like that long stretch of, if any of you guys have ever been, it was at the Santa Ana, like, I forget what it's called, but it was in Santa Ana this time instead of Los Angeles. We got to, me and 5 other friends who got to whatever we wanted, and the scare of this long road as cars were coming down to, like, the actual attraction. And that was really fun. It was a new experience scaring cars, basically. But the facades were absolutely gorgeous. Like, we got to interact with them too, along with the cars, and, like, some people goes up, some people goes down. It's kind of just, it was great. And actually, I got TikTok famous out of it.
Yeah, you did.
It's this video where it's just these girls driving along in a car. You want a hot Cheeto? And then I just turn my head and I'm like, no, I'm allergic. And that's the video. But, like, it blew up because
you were so quick-witted with it, that's why.
Because quick reaction time. Gotta be very on top of your improv.
Did you have that, like, in your back pocket or something? Because you were really quick with that response.
I mean, honestly, it was kind of just the first thing that popped out of my head. Just, no, I'm allergic.
Are you actually, though? Are you actually allergic? I know a lot of people asked you.
Yeah, I'm allergic to the red 49 that's in.
Oh, interesting. I never knew that. So it was just the one night at Haunted Hayride?
Just the one night at Haunted Hayride.
And nothing else? You didn't scare anywhere else this year?
No. I didn't really, I wanted to stay in, kind of work on cosplay. Like, it was nice to sit, and I got to get my younger sister for her home.
Nice.
Dressed up as Captain Hook.
Oh.
So that was very nice. So I got to style her wig and everything. She got it all on, and I got up. She was like, oh, she's like, I look so pretty. And I was like, yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You dirty old codfish. And she's like, yeah.
Adorable. And that kind of leads into Jarrett's next question. What's the biggest and most ambitious cosplayer costume you two would like to do? Oh, me included. Well, let's start with you.
Okay. Well, there's a couple. I would like to, although I don't play Overwatch, I'd like to full, like, real-sized suit of armor of Reinhardt.
Okay.
As a big boy. I forget how tall the suit actually is, but I would inside, like, the arm extend, the leg extend, I make a hammer, just absolutely. The second one that is from the Labyrinth. The Labyrinth. I want to make one of the fire. I forget what exactly they're called, but the ones Sarah in the woods, and they're like taking off their heads and all their body parts, and they're just like sitting there singing. Hey, let's take her head off. And she's excited about it. I want to make one of those things because they scared me when I was a kid, and I love them now. It looks so cool.
Yeah! Conquering fears as you get older and making it work for you is the theme of this interview, I think. For me, the most ambitious one would be the big sister from BioShock 2. I really want to do that. Let's see what else. One of the most ambitious ones for me was Harley Quinn, because I never, like, learned how to sew, so I, like, taught myself, and Glenn was a big help with that, like, just trying to fit it to me, so I'm really proud of that one, but I want to redo it, and I want to make a whole Harley Quinn line of different themed Harley Quinn costumes. So I want to redo this one with different material, because the material I used is very thick, and I also ran out of it before making, like, the shoes and the gloves and stuff, so I want to, like, get more of that. And do it right this time. So redo the whole thing. I want to also make a Christmas version, a Renaissance version, a Jester version, bathing suit, like for any occasion. I want, like, PJs, like I want to do just a whole Harley Quinn line, so I could do, like, all these characters, all these skits, all these photo shoots with Harley Quinn, because she's my girl. But yeah, that would be the most ambitious thing. I think, like, as a cosplay in of itself, it's not very ambitious, but the whole line of it is. So, hope that answers your question, Jarrett. Sasu Insanity, how do you not gag yourself or choke when you do the seaweed thing?
Well, actually, I had choked a couple of times.
Oh, God! The real scare is if she died for real! Oh, God!
It's all for the bit.
Oh, so committed! She's such a professional. Hire her next year. Bring her back to life. Sorry, continue.
You're fine. Yeah, like, there would be times where it would, like, slip too far, or, like, I'd have a bunch in my mouth, or just be a little bit too much spit, and it would go down the wrong time, and I'd be like, I had to, like, spit it all out and just have it in my hand. Kind of like a cat. But that also scared people, because I'd be, like, talking to people and, you know, doing my thing. I'm like,
look! A gift!
So, I mean, I wouldn't recommend doing it. I'm just dumb, and I like being absolutely disgusting whenever I can. So, it's just, you gotta be careful.
She's a charmer. Everybody, she's a charmer. Let's see. Cody Sanford, while working a haunt, have you had any bad accidents from either props or come out too soon from scaring someone when the first person did a scare? Let me read that again. While working a haunt, have you had any bad accidents from either props or come out too soon from scaring someone when the first person did a scare? I don't understand that second point. If you do, feel free to answer it.
Be like accidentally stealing somebody else's scare.
That's what I'm. Coming too soon from scaring someone when the first person did a scare. I read that as two things: either stealing a scare or stopping a scare because someone else is coming in.
So like somebody else is going to scare and you go to scare and you notice. Like,
I guess yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think the main question is, have you had any bad accidents? I think it's the main question of that.
There are times where, like, you know, you're on streets, your fellow monsters are on the street. It's not really. bump into each about it as like accident wise that's happened, or like you accidentally run into somebody when they're sliding, they have to stop, or you gotta like avoid them somehow. So it just depends on the situation. As for stealing scares, I have accidentally stolen scares at times, but I really go to the other person. I'm like, I'm so sorry. It's cool.
Because sometimes you really don't know. I don't know if I've ever stolen a scare. If I did, I'm so sorry to whoever it was. But yeah, it's hard to tell sometimes. Sasu Insanity goes, oh my god, that's how I recognized you and your voice was from the TikTok, yeah. She's famous! Kenna, hi! To be honest, it brings me so much joy to see when you go live. Thank you, Kenna. Loon or Luna, do you think it's a good idea to volunteer first before auditioning if it's your first time haunt acting and you're trying to get in a specific haunt? I think it depends on the haunt.
Well, honestly, I just say go. I mean, auditions are very scary. Like, even I have a very hard time with auditions. It's nerve-wracking. All the time. Because, you know, when the haunt auditions, you don't have any props, you don't have makeup, costumes, it's just you. So you yourself have to prove that you can be scary without anyone else helping. Whether that be, like, contortion stuff, or your voice, like, certain skills, like, if you're trying to go in Carnival, like, juggle, if you run a unicycle, like, any crazy stuff, like, showcase anything you've got. I just say go.
Yeah.
Or if you want to, like, kind of see what it's about and not scare your first year, they always have, like, the lion control, the blackout, or something like that, so you get to see haunt before you get to scare.
Yeah, that's a good point. They usually have, like, show controller, the people in the black hoods that say, like, keep it moving, no flash photography. So I would say, I agree with Cheyenne, go for the audition. The worst thing that can happen is they say no. And then if they say no, then you say, hey, can I volunteer to be show control then? And then you still work the haunt and you get to understand the haunt and everything and maybe get a better vibe. Because each haunt has like a different vibe and different kind of scares that they're going for. So maybe you were just not given the right vibe at the time of the audition, and then you learn through show control like what the vibe is, and then you try again next year. But just keep trying, just keep auditioning. Don't sell yourself short by saying, should I volunteer first? No, just go for it, man. Yeah. William, haha, I remember seeing that video about the Cheetos. I was laughing so hard. Yeah. Jason Voorhees, welcome, icon. I know you from TikTok. Yes. Me, her, both of us. Let's just, I don't know. We're both on TikTok. William. Jason, is that you? I thought you were still sleeping in the lake. Oh. Let's see. No, I'm awake. Mama told me to do dishes. Sasu Sandy Noel, I think you would be amazing, or even just have a blast at the Warner Brothers Fright Fest thing for the Arkham Maze. Oh, I would have a blast. I don't know what that is, but it sounds amazing. I assume it has something to do with Harley Quinn because of Arkham, but hey, I'm for it. William, come out and play when you're done, Jason. Okay, bet. Like, there's a whole conversation going on. I'm for it. Josh Levine, her volume is lower than yours. Yes. I don't know how to fix that. I turned it up on my end as much as possible. I'm so sorry, everybody.
It's up all the way up.
Yeah. So, technology. It hates me. Faith, it's already been 50-ish minutes. I think these lives are so cool and so fun. Time flies by. Yay! I'm so happy. Yeah, so Cheyenne still has 15-ish minutes. 15 minutes left before I switch over to Kristen. So get your questions in now, people. Time flies. Sasun saying, Harley is the host. Nice. I could host. I'm doing it now. Jarrett, so when are you two going to do more cosplays together? When it's safe to do so because of the mess? I guess is the best way to. Also, I just moved, so all my stuff's in storage. So when I move to like a bigger place with Glenn. The idea is safe. He goes, safe. Yes, when it's safe to do so, we will absolutely do that. But yeah, we still need to do Harley and Poison Ivy because that was on our list of things to do for a while. We need to come up with a list of things. I think I'll take advantage of this time after I get stuff out of storage and everything. I don't know when that's going to be, probably in the new year, but I'm hoping in the new year we can like collaborate on ideas of like cool cosplays that we can do together and then work on it. And I would love that because first off, like I said, we're friends in real life, people. Like we did not meet through scaring. It just happened to be something we had in common. So I'm like talking about it with her now. But another thing we have in common is cosplay. So we've been wanting to cosplay together for a very long time. You could be Ember and I could be Kitty. I got that ready to go. So
I also have it ready to go.
Exactly. And then I could loan you my guitar again, so it'd be great. Yeah, like we got cosplays ready to go. It's just the mess right now. So when it's safe to do so, we will absolutely cosplay together. It would be fun. Maybe do a photo shoot together. I would love to meet your photographer and everything. That would be really awesome. Yes. I need more content anyway. So sorry, I'm like hopping on your bandwagon there, but it's like
totally
I just think it'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, so Sasson Sandy totally suggest YouTubing it after the live. Sorry for the early message. Son, I got super excited typing. That's okay. Yeah, so the Arkham thing that they were talking about is on YouTube, and I need to do that. Jarrett, my dreams are crushed. Ours, we couldn't really scare this year, man. Like, my haunt was canceled. My dreams have been crushed already. Like, join the club, man. I was gonna see so many shows. I was gonna travel. Like, bro. Where do you see yourselves in 3 years? Jarrett asked this question too. Where do you see yourself in 3 years, Cheyenne?
Well, hopefully get myself set up where I can do cosplay. Because it is my passion. I absolutely love it. I'll definitely still be scared because I love that too. It's a stress relief getting to scare people.
It's therapy. It really is. I tell people it's my therapy, and I didn't get therapy this year, so I'm going crazy.
Yeah, hopefully in about years I'll be able to do cosplay. Just that.
So you want to focus on cosplay more than acting at this point? Yeah? Okay, that's fair. And then you could do acting through cosplay too, so cosplay.
Absolutely.
Making cosplay full-time thing. That's a great goal. That is fantastic. And you will absolutely get it. I believe in you. Yeah, no, seriously though, you will. And for me, 3 years from now, figuring out what I want to do with my life would be great. I'm thinking of, I'm still going to be scaring, I'm still going to be acting on the side, but I definitely see myself working a more 9-to-5 kind of job because I have a very business mindset and I definitely need money. So I'm thinking I'm going to focus more on that, maybe go into HR work and see if I like that. But I don't know if that's going to stick. So I don't know exactly in 3 years, but I say focusing more on my career so that I could have a family and hopefully get married around that time. I don't know. Like, we'll see. Like, we already moved in together, so, you know, whatever. I'm hoping be married, be living in a stable home rather than just a little apartment, and having a job I actually like and feel satisfied with. That was a long time talking to get to that conclusion, but we got there eventually. Hopefully you like that answer, Jarrett. Sasu Insanity. Oh, if you could collaborate on a scare duo, what would you create for characters? I would love to do a gender bent Jason Voorhees. Yeah.
There's so many.
I know.
Okay. Oh gosh, what is his name? It's the dude that has all the pins in his head.
I know what you're talking about. Pinhead.
Yeah, Pinhead. I'd love to do a gender Pinhead.
Nice.
Whatever his name is.
Whatever his name actually is. I just know him as Pinhead, but I know who you're talking about. What movie is that from? God, I just saw it with Vaughn not too long ago. And by not too long ago, I think like a year ago. But still. What was it?
We don't have construct of time here.
Seriously, it all went by so fast. I feel like just yesterday I was in England, but that was in February. And not much has happened since, so, you know. But I would love to do gender bent Jason Voorhees, and then she gender bent Pinhead. That would be really cool. But if we wanted to do like a true duo, I don't know. Scare duo. You'll be a little sister and I'll be Big Daddy. No, I'm just kidding. I just go back to BioShock because that's my favorite game. So, and then, you know, scary. So, oh, we could just be splicers. That'd be pretty badass. Yeah. We could scare people as that. That'd be awesome. William goes Disney trip one day when it's safe. You, Glenn, Phillip, and I down. Jason Voorhees. I'm gonna do scares as soon as I get my job application. Dude, you're Jason Voorhees. Just scare. You kill people for a living. Jarrett, don't whisper that. Speak it to him so he can hear it. Marry me. He already knows. Oh, Hellraiser. Thank you. Yes, Hellraiser and Pinhead is his name. Okay, thank you. We got that confirmed. Okay, oops, ignore that. Big sister, little sister. Yeah, we could do that. I think, like, with our scare characters, you're very nimble, and you're very tiny, you're very petite. So, you're very creepy in your movement in that, and me, like, I'm bigger and more intimidating and more slow-moving. Like, I can be fast, but I tend to get typecast as those big, intimidating characters. So I think it'd be really interesting to pick a duo that relates to those dichotomies, you know? And we would dominate. We would absolutely dominate together. That'd be amazing. We have about 10 minutes left, so get your questions in if you haven't done so already. Otherwise, I'm just going to ask Cheyenne, do you have a favorite SCAREACTOR story that you want to tell that you haven't told already? Hot seat.
Well, one really good one comes to mind. Forsaken this past year is this active and all of his friends, and I was like, he was walking around doing a thing, and he goes full on Shakespeare on me, like modern Shakespeare, and he, pardon me, my lady, but you are the most beautiful reanimated corpse I have ever seen. May I get your chat of the snap? And I was like, and he like had his hand extended like on a knee. I looked at him, looked at his friends, looked back at him, did like the up down thing, like, sorry, but my standards aren't that low, my good man. And all of his friends went,
whoa! Snap! That's the snap! Oh, that's amazing. So you still get hit on even as a corpse.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All the time. Just, you know, walking around, hey, baby. What are you looking at? Like, man voice and like that number is, oh god.
I liked when I was the wolf, I was like very clearly wolf from like waist up, but like waist down was just my legs. And so a lot of people would be like, damn, look at those legs with those hairy arms. Girl, I love that dress on you. And I'd be like, thanks. Stop. I didn't even pick it out. It was given to me. Let's see. Let's see, Sasa and Sandy, I'm still giggling at the mind image of the spirit with tappy feet but appearing to be floating. Yeah. The floating. Jarrett asks, what is one regret either of you have as a scare actor? Do you have any regrets?
Not getting into scare earlier.
That's a good one. Yeah. I kind of feel the same way, but I didn't really know it was a job until like I did actually start doing it. So I can't be mad at myself for that one. I'll say one regret is, it's not a big regret because I did end up having a ton of fun going through haunts and like dedicating my time to being a guest rather than an actor, because I had never gone through the haunts in LA and I hadn't had a Halloween to myself to do my traditions that I normally do rather than working it since moving to LA. So last year I took the year off, but I do kind of regret it because of course I miss scaring with my friends and I missed an opportunity to be another character. Oh, the biggest regret I have is not taking photos and videos of me scaring because I don't have anything for TikTok and everyone keeps asking for it, and I'm so sorry. I didn't think anything would blow up on TikTok the way it did, so I didn't have that ready to go. So yes, pictures and videos that I can legally share. I do have photos, but I'm backstage and I'm not allowed to share those, so.
Same. I'm in the same boat, so I guess same regrets.
Yeah, not having stuff to share, I guess. Sasu Insanity. How is that snap, old chap? Sorry, I said it wrong. I ruined it. Let's see. Was it William said? Oh, William is talking to Jason some more. Okay, that doesn't have to do with us. Cade King, it's Pinhead, that's the name. Nice. Okay, so it's confirmed. Cheyenne, do you have any advice for people who would like to get into scaring but haven't done so already?
Honestly, just go for it. When I first did audition, I was sitting there and I'm like, myself in the mirror, man, I can't be scary. I don't know how to do this. And like, went in and did it. I ended up getting my first position and it was great. A lot of people are like, man, you killed it. I'm like, thank you. And, you know, just all these things. Go for it. Honestly, when you work at haunts, you make friendships of a lifetime. Like, all of these people that I've met are my family. I love anything for them. My spooky.
Same. I have a lot of friends from scaring who are currently in the chat right now, and they're just so supportive, and I love hanging out with them and everything. Like, you'll make friends, and you don't know what you can and can't do until you actually go and try and do it. So, yeah, absolutely go for it. Don't hold back. Stop making excuses for yourself. The biggest thing I always say is give people the option to tell you no. Because if you don't go for it, you're telling yourself no, and you're not even giving them a chance to say yes. So you never know. Just go. The worst that can happen is that they say no. And then you'll be right back where you were before. So no loss. You can only gain, right? Jarrett goes, Christmas cosplays? Do you have any Christmas cosplays ready to go?
Right now I'm actually working on my Christmas version of Jessica Rabbit. I have the dress made already, slit in it, and it's like nice velvet, so it's like I have to put the trim on it still, and also styled wig, but
nice Christmas Jessica Rabbit. I can't wait for that. Jarrett goes all caps, Jessica Rabbit? Oh my gosh! Faith, I think I'm too young to do it and I'm shy, but it seems so fun. I wish I wasn't shy and so young. I would say look up the rules, like labor laws of where you live. I say this all the time, but look up the labor laws of where you live and the specific haunts. Look up and just ask how old you have to be to work there. And if you're too young, keep going to that haunt. Understand the haunt so that you'll be ready to audition when it's time to audition.
Or you're too young to like you could do home hunts because people are always looking scare actors who want to like industry and scare it. They're great experience to get started.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Home haunts. Yeah. Because you're not technically working, you know? It's under the table. Wink, wink. Home haunts. Definitely try that. Get some experience. Yes! William is still trying to convince people to stay in LA instead of Orlando. Would you want to scare in Orlando if you ever got the opportunity?
I don't know, because I haven't actually, like, seen any of the Orlando. If I got, I would like to.
Cool. Would you want to be like let me ask you this. Do you want to focus on scare acting in addition to your cosplay and maybe be like a traveling cosplayer and scare actor? Or do you want to like focus on cosplay and then just kind of scare on the side for your therapy, your seasonal therapy?
I don't know, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I consider that. But, Knott's Berry Farm, like, not trying to be biased, but it's the only place that I absolutely love scary. Maybe sure I'll try scary. But right now, stick to all that.
Sounds good. Do I get to meet you and the two talking on live? Oh, if you stay in Hollywood. Potentially. I mean, we're in LA, so you could potentially meet us. No promises, because I don't know. I think this is a good question to end on. What is a dream maze you would want to work? Past or presently existing mazes? Mine was the Silent Hill one in Orlando because that would be amazing to have worked. Yeah, do you have like a... Because you're very familiar with Not Scary Farm, and you said you're pretty loyal to Not Scary Farm, so let's focus on Knott's. Are there any mazes that you've noticed that you'd really like to work in, or any zones that you haven't worked in yet that you'd like to try?
Well, actually, at Knott's, there's this, because there's all the scares. It kind of really applies to scares mostly. It's called, World Tour, where you scare every single zone and at least one phase within 5 years. So I'm on my way to doing that. Maze my first year, Ghost Town my second, Forsaken Lake my third. This next year I'm hoping to go in Carnival and be a clown. And that's actually where a lot of people are trying to go this next year, so it might be very, very full. But yeah, I really want to scare them next year. And it'll definitely be a different to scaring because it's so bright. There's so many lights, and I'm more accustomed to scaring in the dark because that's all I've done. But I would love to scare in the light and hold myself to do that. Finish off my 5th year in the Hollows and see it in Camp Snoopy area. Just kind of choose wherever I want to go after that.
So are you able to make those choices? Like, are you able to talk to those who cast you and say, like, I would really like to work here and hope for the best, or?
You audition. So, like, even if you have a guaranteed spot for, like, next year and you, like, didn't sign the papers to get your spot back, you can do that. But if you want to go to a different zone, you have to audition.
Oh, so you audition for each zone.
Every single year.
Ah. So if it's not like just one big audition, are you cast, we'll tell you where to go, you actually have to audition for each zone. Are you able to audition for more than one thing at a time?
Sometimes they allow it, but sometimes they don't. It depends on how many people they've got waiting. Because I remember my first year trying to get into Streets, they were like, oh, where do you want to go? I was like, I have no idea. And they're like, well, pick somewhere. And I was like, I guess Ghost Town. And they're like, okay, or they're like, show me this character, show me this, show me that. They just kind of put you on the spot if you, like, don't know what you do it and decide for.
So if they feel like you're not a good fit for that zone, is it possible that they would cast you in another one that they feel you'd be a better fit for, even though you didn't audition for that one specifically?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of just, I think that they would be a good, here, let's try to learn and adapt. It's really cool, because you do get to learn and grow as a scare actor.
Cool. Alrighty. Well, our time is just about up with Cheyenne. So thank you so much for being here. Do you have anything else you want to say to potential characters or closing thoughts before you want to promote your social media maybe?
Yeah, if you want to get into scare acting or cosplay or anything like that, just go for it. Because once you do it, you probably won't be able to stop because it's addicting, it's fun, you make friendships of a lifetime. Like, just go for it. Don't be scared, don't hold yourself back. Like Noelle said, the worst that the casting crew can do is saying no. And even then, you can say, oh, here, or can I go to the other open? Like, just go for it. Give it your all during audition. Don't be afraid. Go full bore.
Commit.
Come in.
Commit. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It comes full circle with my jokes. So I was gonna say thank you for wholesome stories. Yes, thank you so much, Cheyenne. Follow her on Instagram, TikTok, anywhere else you want to promote.
Well, I've actually got 2 Instagrams. I have one specifically for my haunt stuff. It's KSF Swerve, because my haunt name is Swerve.
Oh, am I following you on that? I didn't know that existed. Text me that. Text me it. I will follow it, and then I'll add it to the description too, so that people can follow you. So I put Peppered Up Cosplays on there, and then text me the other one, and I'll put that up there too for your scare stuff. TikTok, she's Ribbon, RIIBBON. Follow her on there. She does a lot of cosplay, some scare actor stuff, so it's cool. It's cool. Follow my friends. They're awesome. But I'm gonna go find Kristen now. So, Cheyenne, don't go anywhere. I'll give you a more proper goodbye while I hunt for Kristen. Everyone else in the live, do not go anywhere. I've got another scare actor lined up. It is time for a short intermission. Yeah, say bye, Cheyenne. Bye, Cheyenne. All right, we are back, and I am with another scare actor. For those just joining, I'm going to do my little intro again. Hi, I'm Noelle, also known as Charge and Die. I tell scare actor stories. I'm a professional scare actor. It's what I do. But this last year, because of the mess, I wasn't able to scare because my haunt was canceled. So I thought it'd be fun to interview fellow scare actors so that they get a chance to tell their scare actor stories. I have another guest with me tonight. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. I'm Kristen. I go by Auburn Mystique online. Sorry, let me make sure this goes away. My phone. All of a sudden, I'm popular when I don't need to be. I'm a musician, actor, person in Los Angeles, California. I've been a scare actor. I think this was my 5th season in a row, but like my 6th season altogether, I think. Time is meaningless at this point.
I understand, yes. It's like, was this 6 years ago or 3 months ago?
Who even knows? 2020 is a long year.
It's a long decade. This one is already the roaring 20s. All right, so you've been scaring a total of 6 years. You said 5 years in a row. What got you started in scare acting?
I was in leadership in high school, and we had to do volunteer hours, and there was like a hayride type scare haunt thing happening at this place in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I'm from, and somebody was like, they need volunteers. This could be your volunteer opportunity. I was like, that's fun. I don't have to like bag stuff. That's great. I'll go do that. And not a lot of manual labor. Awesome. And I had a lot of fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I got to be a victim for Freddy Krueger. So I play a lot of victim roles. So it was like my first foray into being a victim, and I fell in love with it. So I'm always a victim. I got to scream and run around and try not to get hit by the hayride. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. I mean, that's always a plus when you don't get hit.
Yeah.
Real professional. She's avoiding everything the way she should. Faith goes...
Safe scaring.
Yes. My sister's name is Noelle, but hers is spelled Noel. LOL. That was hard to say. And on your last live on TikTok, I woke her up by spamming her. That's awesome. Because I went live on TikTok last night, and Faith is,
nice.
She's very, I assume gender. I'm so sorry. I'll just say they. Feel free to confirm if otherwise. But they always share my live to their sister to try and spam them so that they would join the live stream, and they never do. But that's funny that you woke her up for that. Cade King. I say the names just in case you might know the people who are in the live.
Oh, do you know Cade? Hi, Cade.
Cade King. Trixie is a fan. She's watching with us. Who's Trixie?
Aww. That's their dog.
Oh, hi, dog.
Doggy.
Hi. I love.
Yeah, they're actually one floor above me right now. Hi.
Hi. No one's above me, I think. I don't know. Hello, God? Cade King, I literally was like, OMG, say like in life. And then you said, I'm always the victim. I'm screaming. Oh my God. Sasu and Sandy, I just imagine, runs to scare. Yeets out of the wagon's way. Just dive off to the side. So, Kristen, I would like to ask you,
yes.
What is the most challenging thing about playing a victim? A lot of people are kind of like poo-pooing being the kill or the victim because you're not like the scare, but it's actually a really challenging thing. So what's the most challenging thing to you that you had to overcome? And what did you learn? Like any tips you could give about being a victim?
Yeah. I mean, I think being the victim is underrated, honestly, because you get to be the distraction. Like you're setting up everything for the scare to come in. So you're basically creating the story, which is a big like acting moment, which I love because I I have a background in acting, so there's a lot more acting that goes into it, being a victim. So you're basically creating the story. So it's really up to you to set up your partner or whoever is in the scene with you, or to set up the next room, or whatever pop out is happening next. And I think that can be pretty difficult because, usually like you're out and about, you're like an open nerve, and you're there to create the story for them. And so there's a lot of like vulnerability to it too. But I find a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely. I think the best way I think of it is, if this helps anyone, is if you're telling a joke, you could tell just the punchline, but it's not going to be as effective without the setup, and the kill is kind of like the setup to a joke, and then the scarer is the punchline. You kind of need both in order for it to be effective. So definitely don't poo-poo victims or kills. My biggest... I don't want to like turn the negative side of things, but I do see a lot of beginner scarers or beginner victim scarers specifically try and steal the scare and be the scary thing. So I always say, like, this sounds mean, but know your place. You're not there to be the scare. You're there to tell the story. Like you said, you're there to be like vulnerable. You're there to set up the scare, to be the distraction and stuff, so that you can serve the overall scare, right?
Yeah, it's a partnership.
Yes, exactly. You want to work with your fellow scarers, not just by yourself, right? Let's see here. Faith, I'm a she, her, I'm a girl. Thank you, though. LOL. Okay, good. Thank you for confirming. I'm still trying to learn of like adjusting, and like I don't want to assume gender and everything, but thank you for confirming that. Sasu and Sandy, they, them, he, him, heart. Okay, cool. Nice. I'll try and remember that, but I will default to they, them if I remember to do so. So yeah. Anyway, so what's been your favorite part of scaring all these years?
There's so many.
I know. I'm putting you on the spot. The hot seat.
Honestly, it's what I look forward to every year. It's my favorite thing. It's honestly been the highlight of my time living here in Los Angeles. I love the family aspect of scare acting, if that makes any sense. You're really working together in some pretty difficult times and a lot of hard work, and you go through something together. And I've met some of my best friends, who I now call my family, through scare acting, and it was just very sad not to be able to see them this year because of the mess.
Yes, I needed my freaking therapy, but nope, not this year. Because scaring for me is therapy, and I agree with you. Like, we are absolutely a family. Just wherever you scare, you will make friends. You will find some sort of family with that, and I think that's a beautiful thing. Through all the scares, we come together.
Yeah, it was like an island family of like misfit toys.
Yeah, because we're just a bunch of weirdos trying to have fun.
Yeah,
and yeah, that's kind of a requirement if you want to be a scare actor. It's like you gotta be weird and you gotta want to have fun. Go scare people, because it's so unorthodox. Like, people don't think of like that's a job. I remember when I started telling character stories on TikTok, so many comments are like, "What's a scare actor? Huh? That's a job? You get paid for that?" I mean, sometimes. It depends where you work, but yeah. You gotta be good at scaring people to do it.
Yeah, honestly, it's an art form, and people don't really understand how hard it is.
Scare acting is acting.
Yeah.
For sure. I've seen a lot of scare actors just starting out. This was up in San Francisco when I was scaring up there, but I was starting scaring, but I had not started acting, so I already knew the acting aspect to it. And I don't want to like poo-poo them because they're learning, I will say this to one person because they refused to learn, so that's on you. So like this specific person I have in mind, I don't know their name or anything, but they were told from the higher ups, like, you need to scream, like you're getting your guts ripped out and you're laughing. It's weird. Like, that's an interesting choice, but we want you to scream. Like, that's something they told the person. Like, we want you to scream. I'm all for making interesting choices and committing to them, right? But if higher ups, the people who own the maze, go up to you and say, your guts are being ripped out, you better scream, you might want to consider screaming. And he was like, no, because I'm a maniacal person, like this is my background and stuff like that, and they're like, no? Yeah, you're dying. Scream. Sometimes
This is the direction.
simpler things are the most effective because the guests ended up being more confused than being scared than if you just screamed. So, like acting is reacting a lot of times, so you want to like put yourself in that imaginary circumstance and say what makes the most sense in this circumstance, and especially if you're a victim and you're a kill, you want to work with the physics of what's happening to you. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I don't think you'd be silent if your guts were being pulled out.
I swear to God, someone was falling asleep once on a table. It was weird. They were like being sawed in half. I don't remember what was going on, but I definitely remember someone falling asleep, and I'm like, they're not acting dead. They're straight up snoring. Like, what's going on?
I guess, they got really bored with being cut in half, it happens.
It's just all in the day, all in the life of being a scare actor. You're just being cut in half, guts being ripped out by the daily, and it gets boring after a while, No.
Yeah, I never understood how people fall asleep also because it's so loud in there.
Good point. That is another good point, yeah.
Like, sometimes the decibels are just, like, so high you have to wear earplugs, and I'm just like, even then, it's just really loud, and I have to sleep with like almost complete silence or like ocean sounds.
Same, like with the white noise.
Yeah.
So, what have been some of the best reactions for you? Either tag teaming a scare as a kill or like as a kill, you freaked someone out.
I love it when they don't believe that I'm real. I like to play with that a lot of the time. But also, I'm just like, what about me just screams, feels like that I'm not real? I guess they just think the production value is just that awesome, which, good for, I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. But other times I'll be in a room with, like, actual, like, fake dead bodies, and I'm like, you look at that, and you look at me, and then you think I'm not real?
When she says actual dead bodies, they're not actual dead bodies.
Oh, not actual dead
bodies. They're still props.
Sorry. The fake dead bodies.
The actual fake bodies, rather than her being a fake body. Yes. I wanted to clarify. They don't use
so sorry.
corpses.
We're not extreme haunts. They don't even exist.
If you donate your body to science, it might end up in a haunt. No.
No, it won't. That's a horror movie story. But so I like to play with that a lot of the time, where I will like flinch at them, and then I'll like when I grab at them or like reach out for help, a lot of the time they actually thought I wasn't real, so they'll freak out and scream, and I was like, I got to scare, because a lot of the time being a victim is not about scaring. You're about creating the story and setting it for your fellow scarer behind you wherever they are. So it's fun whenever you can get those moments of actually like making people flinch, make people scream, and be like, oh my god, I thought you weren't real. Those are always my favorite parts.
Especially because, like, it's accidental. You didn't know. You didn't know you'd scare
I know.
Yeah. Cade King goes, we love realism.
Yeah.
I feel like the more real you are in the physics of being the kill, the scarier it is. Because the less confused the people would be seeing it, and they would think, oh, this could actually happen to me.
Yeah.
Right? So I love that, and I admire that about victim roles and kill roles and everything like that. Like my first year scaring in LA, I was a victim. I had my face ground up by Jason. It was beautiful.
Awesome.
Great.
The dream.
The dream. It really was, though, because I got to sit the whole time and everyone was really mad at me for it. But I was like, yeah, but I'm also leaning forward a lot and my back is hurting. So, pros and cons. I don't know.
Yeah, I've gotten, last year I got to lie down the whole time, which was really nice. And then another time I was kneeling forward. But that was when I was getting sawed in half from behind, and that was really realistic looking. Sometimes people would come through and like almost throw up. It looks so real.
Nice.
And it was great. And I was like, please throw up. But actually don't. But like, I would love it if they thought it was just so grotesque that they actually puked, but also like do it in the next room.
Have you made anyone actually throw up or pee themselves or anything like that from either team
I
scare
haven't, but I've had fellow scare actors tell me that they make people like poop their pants. or like actually pee themselves. And I think that's something to strive for.
I definitely have my own bucket
goal.
list. I don't know if other characters do this. I've asked a few, and apparently it's not as common as I thought it was.
Oh, I have one.
Oh, good. What's yours? Let's talk about this.
Bucket list is making somebody pee themselves.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the number one. I've added to bucket list now to be in a scare zone. I added that, and then I want I just have 2 for right now.
Hey, those are good goals.
I'm adding them as I go, because I used to just be like, I'm gonna be a victim, and like that's gonna be me. I'm the best at it. I'm like the best victim that they can have, and I have so much fun. But then this year I got to work for a haunt where I got to have a lot of freedom and run around, and it was like open scaring, and because it was like a drive-through experience. And it was I found that I actually loved the freedom and like the creativity of that. So I was like, actually, maybe I would want to do a scare zone, try it out. I never thought it would be for me, but then this year I was like, actually, maybe I do have those skills.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short. Everyone, yeah. Scare zones are fun. You get the freedom, like you said. Let's talk more about, like, you did scare this past year, because
yes.
we actually had to reschedule. This is the rescheduled interview because she was scheduled back in October, I believe, and then she had work. So I was like, yeah. I understand. Get that money, honey.
Gotta do what you can this year.
Exactly. So what were some of the precautions put in place for the mess?
Yeah. So like all guests were inside of their cars, and we scare actors and the crew and the whole cast and like front of house, everybody working had to wear masks the entire time. They only had like 20 people in the whole cast, I want to say. They normally have like 200 people, they said, and this year they only were able to have 20. And then we also had days off, which was really crazy to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say unusual. Wow, all right. Yeah,
it was very unusual. But honestly, I was all for it. Because like nobody got sick. And
Good.
like normally people get like the haunt colds or something like that, and this year, I mean, I didn't even get a cold. The plague, yeah.
The plague.
I usually get something every year, and this year I didn't get anything because of the mask. And we also wore masks under our masks. And like nobody shared masks, nobody shared costumes. You had a bin full of your own stuff, and they cleaned it every night. We worked 2 nights, we were off 1 night, and then we had very small teams, and we social distance backstage. It was all outside, and the guests were in their cars the entire time. So I felt very safe.
Nice.
And the guests felt very safe, and I think we put on something like really special because we all didn't think that we would be able to scare this year, and it was like a bunch of haunt orphans coming together to put on a haunt, and it was very, very beautiful.
That's amazing. I'm so glad that you were able to scare this year, and that so many precautions were put in place and no one got sick. That is amazing. Do you feel like having the double mask aspect of it and people in their cars, it was harder to scare? And how'd you overcome that?
Yeah. It was difficult because it was the same. Because normally in a maze or a scare zone, you're having people come through, like different people come through every 10 seconds, sometimes less in a scare zone. And for this one, there were 30-minute shows. So we had the same people to scare for the entire 30 minutes. So we really had to get creative and change things up. But that's where some of the fun came in with freedom. I got to work with a lot of props and just like they called it the establishing shot, standing in front of the cars and then like working with other scare actors. So they would come up on the side of the car and it was just about trying to have variety. I got to work with a zap stick, which was really fun. It was never made to actually zap anybody or anything. It just made the noise.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
so it's a prop. It's a prop that they make specifically for scaring. It just makes a sound and it has a light. But it was like my baby. I would play air guitar with it. It was really fun. Because it wasn't just about scaring. It was about creating like an interactive experience for them. Because they were like watching a movie and then we were scaring throughout that experience. So it was a whole thing rather than just scaring, and I think that really added to it, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any like great scares from it? Any stories to tell from that experience?
At the end, there was like a thing on the screen to tell everybody to like honk for us. And that was like my favorite thing because
it's like,
like all the cars.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a standing ovation. It was like a standing honking ovation. So I had a lot of fun with that because everyone started honking their horns, and he just felt like we all were together trying to like that. It just felt nice that they enjoyed the experience and that they needed this as much as we needed this. And it was like a collective fun experience in that way. I also had this severed head that you had like a bungee attached to it. So I would like throw it at cars and then it would ricochet, like recoil back to me. So I would dance with it and then I would throw it at the cars and they wouldn't know that would be happening. So they would flinch, and that was a lot of fun. I named him something, but I forgot what his name was. But he was the best boyfriend I've ever had. That severed head.
Best boyfriend she ever had, and she doesn't even remember his goddamn name.
I know. Well, somebody asked me the name, and then I immediately thought of one of the supervisors' names, and I said that, and I was like, no, I can't have it be named that.
No, it's got to be something. Chad, just Chad. Or if you want to go like, what was it? Lollipop Chainsaw Massacre, whatever that is. It's a video game. Tara Strong voices the lead character, who's like this cheerleader, and then like a zombie apocalypse happens, and she's like a zombie hunter with a chainsaw, but like just as a cheerleader, and then her boyfriend gets bit by a zombie, and she was like, no, I need to save him, so she like chops off his head, and now is carrying around his head, and it's like she's keeping him alive in that way, so he's still human but just a head. I imagine it like that.
Yes.
That very long setup to explain the joke. It doesn't work. I'm sorry.
It's exactly, no, I'm with you. It's exactly that. He was very loyal. He stuck by me. He didn't say a word. Best boyfriend ever.
Exactly. I just always agreed to everything.
He did his job.
His name is Nick. Yes, thank you. Sasu knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, the boyfriend's name is Nick in that game. So you can name him Nick. You can name him Nick.
All right, we'll just say his name is Nick.
Nick, this is a side tangent, but I'll say this. Sorry, Glenn. I've always wanted to date someone named Nick so that we could be Nick and Noelle. It didn't happen. Now we're Glenn and Noelle. It doesn't work the same.
Just rename him.
Gonna rename you. You know how when people get married, the girl changes the last name? Well, in this case, I'm gonna change his first name.
Hey, it's unconventional. It's 2020, you know?
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
Anything goes. The world's on fire. How about
There's no rule.
Yeah, exactly. No rules anymore. Everyone's just trying to survive and have fun. And that's the point of scaring. Yes. Full circle. Let's catch up with some of the chat. Kate King, we love realism. I know you were talking about the dead bodies. I took that opportunity to give advice on physics instead. I'm so sorry. I ruined your joke. I'm a joke ruiner. Just so everyone knows,
okay.
Sasu Insanity, I always find victims reaching for guests while their guts are out is confusing, to be honest. Yes. How would you go about that, Kristen?
I've had a lot of one of the greatest things and also one of the awfulest thing and grammar words. Most awful. One of the most awful things is that like as a victim, you don't have like a lot of the time you don't have anything like mask or anything, so it's just like you out there, so you can hear everything that the guests say and usually pretty close to them. So I would hear some awful things, but also people would come through and be like, what? You should be dead. Like people would say like the funniest things and I would have to keep it in me and not laugh. But people would
get so sassy. I'd say, oh my bad, I'll just die. Thanks.
I'll just say, yeah, sorry. I'm
sorry.
Just like superhuman. It'd be boring.
A mere mortal would be dead. Excuse me.
You're just gonna put me back together and cut me up again, so I'm just gonna lie here.
I am dead. I'm just a really good actor, and I'm acting like I'm alive. But I'm
That's what I'm doing. I'm acting like I'm alive. I think it would be boring if you were just like dead, you know? You're just like in there being cut in half, not doing anything. You know, it's a torture thing. Your body's in shock. But you know it's happening. I like to say that my body's in shock. I'm not really feeling what's happening, but I know it's happening, so I'm screaming about it.
That's true, because if anything like that were to happen to someone, they would have such a big adrenaline rush that they wouldn't really feel what's going on. They're just like trying to survive at that point. Yeah, that's true. I never really thought of that, but that's a thing that happens that I think that happens. It never happened to me. But I think it happens.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like a thing that your body goes through when you go through trauma is it shock. It makes you not feel anything. Yeah, it goes into shock.
Exactly.
To protect you, but it can also be dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially if you're getting cut totally.
When you go into shock, then you can't really survive very much. Like you don't have that fight instinct so much. You just kind of freeze depending on the kind of person you are. So it can be dangerous. I guess a good bit of advice that we're talking about here is to know the physics of your scare, and if you don't know it, then look it up. But be discreet. You know, you don't want to look up like real murder cases and stuff. Like your body will go into shock if you look those kind of things up, and I don't want to encourage people to get like actually traumatized. And dear Lord, do not do method acting. Do not actually chop off your arm to know what it feels like to get your arm chopped off. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like, just think about the physics of like, for example, the guts being ripped out. And I do say this in one of my YouTube videos of the 4 characters, like 4 common haunt characters and how to act them. I do talk about this a little bit as an example. If someone's ripping out your guts, you're not going to be in a half crunch reaching out to the crowd saying, help me. More realistically, you won't have the ab muscles to be able to crunch at all. So you'd be on the table or the ground or wherever you are having your guts ripped out. And you'd most likely be trying to fight off the person ripping your guts out rather than reaching out to strangers saying, help me, which is a very common thing. And I'll be honest, I wish it weren't, because it could be very effective if not everyone did it. You know? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Cade King. Okay, but Glowell is a great ship name. Yeah. What's nice about my ship? We're totally off topic right now. But the thing with my name is I would make a good ship name with pretty much anyone, because the second syllable of my name is just L. And it kind of goes with most things. So like Glenelle, Nickel, Nick and Noel.
But like Glowell, like you guys are glowing. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to make ship names. Is it like the first whole syllable, or is it just the first half of the name? Because if it's the first half of the name, then it'd be Glowell. But if it's the first syllable, he only has the one syllable, so it'd be Glenelle. We're off topic. This isn't important. I don't even use ship names.
Then it would be his full name and like only part of your name. It's a thing I think it's a personal choice.
But then it's like my whole name except for the first letter. So it's just Glell. That's not as great a ship name though. Glell. It sounds weird. Saucy and Sandy, alive by sheer willpower and stubbornness. LOL. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's something I would scream at people. It's like, I'm stubborn.
Yeah.
I'm
just trying to fight. Why aren't you helping?
My heart is still beating. You want to get help or just stand there staring? Josh Levine, gotta go back to work. Love your interviews. Thank you for being here, Josh. I appreciate you. Sasso Insanity. And post-haunt routines like chicken nuggies and a bath, Netflix, and passing out. That sounds amazing, even not after a haunt.
I know. I really want some chicken nuggies now.
Yeah. Let's talk about routines, though. How do you get ready for a night of scaring, and how do you decompress after a night of scaring?
My usual ritual is sleep until 2:30 p.m., depending on what my call time is. One year my call time was like so early where I was working like 13-hour nights. So I wouldn't get that much sleep that year, but it was extremely worth it, and I love it, and I want to actually go back to those times. But normally my call times are like 4:30, 5 p.m., 6 later on at night, so I would sleep until like 2:30 in the afternoon and get up, be ready for the day, so I can be a night owl. And then I usually get 2 shots of alcohol. No, I'm kidding. 2 shots of ginger lemon cayenne pepper from Jamba Juice.
Ooh, that's great for the throat and digestive system.
Yes, and it has that cayenne pepper, so it's got that kick of energy, so you're ready to go. And then I pair it with it's probably not good for your stomach, but I do it anyway. I get a PB Chocolate Love from Jamba Juice, and I drink that with an extra shot of energy.
Not sponsored by Jamba.
Really, yeah, not sponsored by Jamba Juice, but that is my ritual to get me pumped and ready to go, because it has energy in it, and I love peanut butter and chocolate together.
Me too.
So
We're
good.
Reese's Cup girls for sure.
Yes,
absolutely, 100%.
I would marry Mr. Reese.
Yeah,
wherever you are.
Big cups, and I miss the fast break bars. I don't find them very much anymore, but I loved those. Anyway, we're off topic.
I'm not sure if I can eat the fast break bars. I think they might have the gluten in them.
Do you have celiacs?
I don't have celiac. I have a gluten intolerance. But if I were to continue to eat gluten, I would develop celiac. So they're like, don't eat it. And I'm like, ugh.
But gluten. Good to know. I'll try not to poison you then if I ever cook you something. I'll have to try to remember that.
I would just politely decline. And then you'd be like, no, but have it. And I would be, no, thank you. And then eventually I would have to tell you my life story, because that's how it goes.
I kind of feel that way. I'm allergic to bell peppers, and people always get weirded out by that, because apparently it's a very uncommon thing. And I have to explain to them, like, bell peppers, anything that shares the seed with it. So, like, if they offered me anything with, like, banana peppers or something, I'd have to say, nope. And they're like, oh, you don't like peppers. Okay, let me just take it off for you. And I'm like, still no. So sorry. I can't. But it won't kill me. Like, it's just, like, extra spicy. It's a very mild reaction, but it's just like, I never knew bell peppers were not supposed to be spicy. I keep getting different answers from people. Like, for me, it's very spicy to eat a bell pepper, any kind of bell pepper, any pepper at all. And I would ask people, like, are bell peppers spicy? And some people would be like, yeah. And other people are like, no, not at all. What's wrong with you? And I'm like,
I don't think they should ask you what's wrong with you. It's just a preference.
What's wrong with you? So much. How much time you have? Just so much. But back to peanut butter and chocolate.
Yes. I love those two. I love any type of immuno like help is really good for scare acting, especially because it's long hours. You're not getting a lot of sleep during the season. You're around a lot of people. You're sweating a lot. It's a lot of vulnerability factors. So it's definitely good to take care of yourself. So that's why I like to give myself that extra boost. I also drink, I don't know if you're supposed to do this, but I also have a pack of Emergency a day, at least during haunts.
I don't think there's anything wrong in having that. Your body will just,
pee it out.
I was like, what's a not as gross way of saying it? No, yeah, your body will pee it out, so it's fine.
If you're trying to think of a not gross way to say it, I'm probably already there.
I mean, I'm fine saying gross stuff. I'm like, but we're live. What do other people think? But
That's
it doesn't
true.
matter.
That is very true.
It doesn't matter.
Sorry, everybody. I'm new to this.
Don't apologize. It's okay. I said it too. 2020 rules out the window.
But I don't like to eat anything like too like filling before I'm about to scare. I usually just like snack throughout the night too. Some like protein bars and things throughout the night to just keep the energy up. And I definitely drink a lot of water.
Stay hydrated,
This is my
kids.
gallon water bottle.
Woo! I love the stuff on the side.
Yeah, it starts at 7 a.m., but Lord knows I'm not up at 7 a.m. starting to drink water.
So she chugs half a bottle as soon as she rolls out of bed.
I'm more around the 1 p.m., keep chugging. That's where I start. and then I finish out the day. But yeah, I normally drink a full one of those a day, especially during haunts, because hydrate or dihydrate. Because if you're thirsty, it's too late.
I love that. That rhymed.
Right? It's my favorite thing. They say it a lot at my old job, and then I was like, "Did you steal that from me?" Because I say that all the time, and apparently it's a common saying that I thought was just mine.
What a blow to your ego. I'm so sorry.
I know. I thought I came up with something like real cool, but I guess I heard it somewhere and just adopted it and just said it so much that I thought it was mine.
That's me, and woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't.
Yeah.
That's a very common thing I say, and I'm like, I don't remember where I originally got that, but I know it's not mine. But I'm gonna say it's mine. Not really. On TikTok, we steal credit all the time. That's the whole thing.
You gotta save.
Are you
everyone
on TikTok?
uses people's sounds. I am on TikTok.
Oh, do you want me to promote your TikTok?
I mean, I'm gonna probably start doing stuff on there. There are videos on there, so I mean, it's all Auburn Mystique.
Okay, so I'll add that to the description. I just put Instagram because I didn't know what other social media you wanted.
Yeah, I'm always like I always have ideas for TikToks. Like I'll be sitting and I'll write them down, and then I'll never actually film them. But there are videos on there, and I plan on adding more as I actually make the videos that I think of in my head. And I have like a whole list of like audios that are saved on TikTok that are like there's like I think like 100 by now. I'm like, I could do that. But then I never do. But I will.
Same. We're getting some feedback on my audio, apparently. Do you have headphones or something so that it doesn't go back into the mic?
Yes.
Let's see if this is gonna ruin everything, because tech hates me. Let's see. All right.
Is that better?
Yeah? Let me say some things and see if it... Yeah, no, that works. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I think what was happening was wherever output of the audio, it was going back into the mic, so they would like hear me twice.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the issue that was happening. It's a very common thing. Glad we could fix it right away, though, and it wasn't something more advanced than that, because technology and me, like, woohoo, no. Let's see, some questions. Sasu and Sandy, what was your first haunt character? Any memories of it? Are you okay talking about specific characters, or do you want to keep it vague?
I can talk about, okay, I won't say like specifics, but I can talk about like the character. My first, like, I consider that volunteer thing for high school. I don't really consider that part of my haunt years because I only did it a couple nights. But my very first scare acting experience was actually in a scare zone. It was in a haunt in North Carolina, and I got to be this. It was like a bunch of children that played in toxic waste, and that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of freedom, and we were allowed to speak. Which I haven't been able to do, haven't been allowed to do since. Not because I said awful things, but it's just the haunts I work for, they don't allow it.
Yeah, specific haunts don't allow speaking while others do, so oops.
And that was a lot of fun. I had like a doll with a bunch of eyes that were like sewn on it. And so I walked around and they're like, you have to think of a creepy voice, because I didn't really know what I was doing. I was like, I've been to scare ones a few times. This could be a cool thing to do. And then I got there and I was like, wow, this is a lot. There's a lot of people like walking through and like, what am I supposed to do? And then all of a sudden I became this like creepy British child, and I found it in like the voice, and then all of a sudden became part of the body. And that was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of freedom. And then a few years later, I just decided that I didn't want to do scare zones anymore. So I was like strictly a maze victim gal. But then, like this year, I was reminding myself that I had a lot of fun that year with the freedom and the creativity and like using props and it's you have to like figure out how to safely scare while also using that creativity. And I had a lot of people mess with me, and there was a lot of fun interactions with that because I was allowed to speak, so it was a lot of fun improv that went into it. I was like the oldest person in my maze because they allowed 16 and 17-year-olds in there. So I was like 20 with all these like 16, 17-year-olds because I look like I don't know if I still do, but at the time I looked very young. So they were like, you look like you could be 16,
young.
17.
I could vouch.
Thank you. I didn't want to be that person and be like, I look so young.
And I will definitely be that friend to hop on that and go, yeah, you are. You are young. You're beautiful. Be nice to yourself.
Beautiful. And there was also like a thing that was kind of like a maze where kind of like the Haven mazes was like a pop out, but it was like inside of the scare zone that I had a lot of fun with. Where you would like pull this thing and it would slide down and all of a sudden you were there, and I would do that and just scream bloody murder. And I saw this like group of guys coming through, and I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to be able to scare them. It's a bunch of macho men coming through. They're probably just gonna be like, meh, you don't scare me. So when they came through, I pulled it down, I screamed bloody murder, and then they were just leveled. They just fell to the ground. And it was
that's
beautiful.
Amazing.
And immediately after, I got like a special scare actor recognition card thing that I got to turn in for merchandise, which was really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, that kind of fueled me for the rest of the season. I was like, whatever happens after this, that was amazing because I didn't think it was going to happen. And then it did. And it was also a bunch of men who looked like they were trying to be all like, I'm not scared. And then I leveled them.
I call those revenge scares, even though they're not like technically revenge. I love just proving yourself and owning it, you know. I love that memory. That's a treasurable memory, says Sasu. It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
Own it. I love especially those like macho men that you really feel like you're not going to be able to scare at all, and then they end up having the best reactions, and it really proves you never know, so scare everybody.
Yeah.
Just scare everyone. That's your job anyway. Scare everybody, and if they don't get scared, move on to the next one. Don't let it affect you too much. Don't question yourself so much. Because I definitely had those people be like, you're not scary. And I'm like, I'm not scary. And then I scare someone else. I'm like, I am scary. That person was wrong.
Right?
Just gotta.
That happened to me a lot this year.
Yeah.
People would like speak out of their car and be like, you're not scary. And I'd be like, oh, well. And then I would move on to the next car and like make them scream bloody murder and be like, okay, see? Did you hear that? I am scary.
It's your fault. You were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. You're in the wrong car.
You're the wrong car. You're not my person. You're not my person. Faith goes, time is flying by. Wow. Yeah, these interviews go by real fast, everybody. Wow, it's already 10:05, so that means about 20 more minutes. Is that okay with you? All right. Do you have any other fun character stories, fun reactions, anything like that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, one of the most fun?
Funnest is a word, I think, now.
Okay. I got an A in English class in college, but like that was several
I have a
years
degree
ago.
in linguistics, and I can say English sucks. So it goes we say it is prescriptive, what is it? Descriptive, not prescriptive. So if we can understand what you're trying to say, it's good enough. We're not going to like correct your grammar or whatever and be those like prim and proper people, because language is ever changing. Funnest. Let's go.
Funnest. I'm gonna take it back.
It's a word now if it's not already.
Say funnest.
I understood what she was talking about. Hopefully you all do too. Funnest.
All right. One of the funnest nights I had a few years ago, I was a victim, and I normally had like a partner cutting me in half. But one night, I don't know what happened. Maybe it was like a new person, or they had to go to the health center or something, or just like running late. I don't know, but I didn't have them there. So it was just me. It was just me with a chainsaw and my severed lower half, and I was just like, what am I supposed to do?
You saw yourself.
Exactly. So I just sawed myself in half. Somehow I contorted my body because I was kneeling, so I was like leaning forward like this, and the saw was like back there. Somehow I contorted my body to saw myself in half, and people were living for it. And I was like, I'm a strong, independent victim. I don't need no man.
I don't need no someone to kill me. I'll
I
kill
don't
me.
I don't need no assailant. I don't need no slasher. I can cut myself in half. And a lot of people took videos, and over the past 3 years, I have searched everywhere for them, and I was like, did nobody post these?
Oh, come on. That's a beautiful moment. I wanted to
I
see
know.
that.
I really, and
Strong,
my
independent
supervisor
woman.
walked through and just died of laughter. And
I
then
would've
some.
done
I
that
mean,
too.
it was the most fun. I was running around and just not in this scheme, but like afterwards, I was like, guys, did you see it? I cut myself in half. For like the next 3 weeks, I annoyed everybody with that story. They're like, we get it, Kristen. You cut yourself in half.
Oh, I was the one annoying so many people. When I was Grindstone Kill, I would every day, almost every day, I would come and I would go backstage. I would grab my mask and I go, well, back to the daily grind. I put on my mask and then I go to my grindstone and I did a pelvic thrust and then I would sit. And I would do that every day. And at some point, everyone's like, oh, the daily grind. We get it. I'm like, I don't think you do. I'm going to keep saying this.
That would be, I would laugh at that, and that would also be me. I love a good pun. I think it's the greatest thing in the English language.
Yes. I'm glad someone's on my side. Oh, my boyfriend would just go,
Yeah.
boo.
The cringier, the better, honestly.
Oh, I've been telling so many bad puns lately. I think it's what 2020 has done to me. I used to tell a lot of puns, and that's my humor, you know, but I also like some quick wit here and there, you know.
Yeah. Like some dark humor every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love dark humor. I'm still very much dark humor. I'm very much dark humor.
The too soon, the better, honestly, for me.
Yeah, you just gotta laugh about things, you know?
Yeah.
Like, can I tell you a funny story? It just happened to me the other day that would normally make me cry, but you can't help but laugh at this.
Go ahead.
So I just moved, and I had to cancel my utilities for the old place. And for some reason, I kept getting the busy signal for the last, 3 days, and there's a cat on my back. Oh my god, hold on.
Hello, kitty.
Oh, she was scratching at my chair.
Hi.
This is Tulip.
Hi, Tulip.
Say hi. Good
I'm
girl.
so close to getting a cat.
Yes, I want to see a cat when you get a cat. So she's gonna chill on my lap for a little bit. So yes, everyone, Tulip is here. Everyone's favorite kitty, other than Buckaroo, who's the other cat I have, who never really makes a, unless he wants to cuddle. So it goes Tulip. Yeah, she makes frequent. She likes attention.
Aww.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart. Look at her. Anyway, so the other day, I was just kept getting the busy signal. And for the, one time, after trying so many times, I finally got the automated call list thing. I put in my information. They were like, hold for the next available representative. And they put me on hold. And they said, the average wait time right now is 31 to 47 minutes. I was like,
That's a weird random time.
I know, right? So I was like, fair enough. I am on hold. So I put the call on speaker, and I was just waiting, not touching the phone. I would walk into the bedroom and say hi to my boyfriend, and he's like, "Are you still on hold?" I'm like, "Yep." And he looks at the time. He's like, "It's been 40 minutes," and I'm like, "Yep." And I go back in the other room, and I went to just put something on YouTube or something, and I thought I grabbed the remote, and I was so dead tired that I accidentally hung up the phone instead.
Oh no. Been there.
And then so I called back and I was put on hold again. Thankfully, this time I was only on hold for 15 minutes until I finally got someone and I took care of it. So happy ending, whatever. But when that happened, I straight up went, oh, why did I just do that? Oh my god. So I went into the bedroom and my boyfriend just heard the music, the on hold music. And he's like, "Are you still on hold?" And I just had this sad face like, "What did you do?" And I'm like,
Part 2.
I accidentally hung up. And he was like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "This is take 2 and trying to be on hold." You can't help but laugh at those stupid things that I do. Oh god.
It happens to the best of us.
Oh, dear Lord. This is what 2020 does. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
Anytime anytime
sliver of hope.
something new happens in 2020, I don't even like. I've stopped crying about it because I'm just like,
Just gotta
2020,
laugh.
baby. You just gotta laugh at like I hurt my ankle pretty badly this year, and I didn't even cry. I have like a very, very low pain tolerance, and it hurt a lot, but I didn't even cry about it. I was like, 2020.
Oh, God. It's helping us get through our depression
You
in a
know-
weird way. It's like, what else? I've survived this long. And all these
Yeah,
things.
my boss came over and he was like, "What happened? What did you do?" And I was like, 20. I honestly was just like, 2020, and he just like burst into laughter, and I was like, "We gotta just laugh about this."
I hate saying hindsight 2020 now. It was a very common phrase I would say. It's like, oh,
I
hindsight
know.
2020. And it's like, I can't say that anymore because 2020 ruined it.
I know.
Is your ankle okay now? Are you healing? Are you healed up? Like, what's going on?
I'm in the process. I start physical therapy next week.
Good luck. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's
Thank
really
you.
rough.
I mean, yeah, 2020, like, and I'll see. It'll
2020.
be fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm getting the appointments that I need and getting through it. So
Yeah. Have you been hurt by guests or anything while you've been a kill? Let's bring it back to scare acting, shall we?
yeah, let's do it.
Segue.
I haven't been physically hurt, but I have been pretty emotionally hurt.
Oh no.
And like harassed, sexually harassed.
Who do I need to
by
kill?
people. I won't say his name, but it's a celebrity.
Insulted by a celebrity. I mean, like, harassed by a celebrity. That's still just as bad. They are people
I know
too.
it happens. It happens too much. But yeah, like, because as a lot of the time as a victim, I've said this before, but you're like an open nerve. And like one of the mazes that I was in a few years ago, like I was the only thing in the maze that like seemingly was a woman. We had a few like women monsters that were around and anything, but I was like the only thing that like looked like like would be a woman.
Right.
So I got harassed a lot. And I was like the last thing in the maze, and I was like open. I was there. So this one time, a group of guys. Let me slap my mic.
Oh, geez.
A group of guys came through, and they like stopped the line, and to clear the room, so it was like just them in there. And they like one of the guys sat on my table while the other guy was like filming it, and my partner was trying to like get them out to like leave, and he wouldn't leave, and he was like doing like kissy faces at me and like calling me like derogatory names while his friend was just filming this. And I was like, I was just like bawling, and I kind of like disassociated. Because I felt like I didn't have any legs anymore. I was just like in there because like with all the sounds and stuff, you're just like, I'm so into the scene that sometimes I forget that I can get up and leave. So I didn't get up and leave until he finally left. But I told my supervisor, and they were amazing about it. They ran after, and they were able to apprehend the guys.
Oh, good. I was gonna say, where's
like,
security? Like,
really
what the
quickly.
hell?
I know it was. I don't know what happened, like why that was happening in that moment. But my Leatherface was there to help me, but he wasn't like moving or anything. So it was like,
There's
didn't
only
know
so
what I
much
was
you can
supposed to
because
do.
it's not like you could push them off because then you're the liability. We're not allowed to touch people. So
yeah.
like, what do
So I
you
kind of was just
do?
like there, and I couldn't. I mean, I could get up and leave, but I forgot I could. I was like,
no,
I'm
I
cutting
understand
half.
because you know
I
it
don't know.
happens. It happens unfortunately. Like it's happened to me too, where like I've been harassed like that too and assaulted and stuff. It's like in the moment, you're just kind of frozen. You don't know what to do because like I don't know if it happens with you, but I had gears going in my head of like, okay, this is what I would normally do. Am I allowed to do this because I don't want to get fired? You know,
Yeah.
like that kind of thing. It's like normally I would punch their face. I would definitely get fired for that. Push them? I mean, I could probably argue my way around that, but that's still touching them. I can't touch them. I can't run. They're holding me. What do? Just wait it out? Cool. I'm emotionally scarred. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's like not much you could do.
I waited it out. I just waited it out, and eventually the guys they left, and then the maze monitors were like right on it. And so, but there's. And I understand it's like an operation. There's delays in time where like a supervisor is somewhere else and they have to get there and all sorts sort of stuff was happening. So I don't blame anybody for it, except for the guys.
Oh yeah, except for the jerks that actually did the thing, the harassing. Yeah, definitely blame them.
Yeah, I blame them. But I mean, I've always felt safe at all the haunts that I've worked at. You just like you can prepare all you want, but humans are going to do what humans do, and sometimes they're going to be idiots. And I don't know why they needed to film it and like what that was for, but they got their video.
I hate people sometimes.
And then they got kicked out of the park. So I hope it was worth it.
I'm glad they got kicked out. So lesson to everyone watching this, if you're any kind of like that, if you thought what they did was funny, you're part of the problem. Don't do that.
Yeah.
We are people. I said this story in another interview, but I'll say it to you too, where there was one time when I was the wolf and I was going around my scare zone and someone pushed me. And security caught them and brought them backstage. So and they asked me to confront them and ask like what to do with them and all that stuff. So I take off my wolf head from my set. And as soon as I do that, the guy who pushed me that was backstage with me at this point, his demeanor changed 100%, like flipped 180. Because before he was like, I didn't do anything, blah, 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 blah. As soon as he saw that I was a girl, I was a human, female, he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, yeah, I'm a person. I know I'm dressed as a monster, but I'm a person. Why'd you do that? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, I don't like you. Get out. Kick him out.
I want you gone. Yeah, and then there's like a difference, and as you do more scare acting, or even just like you can figure it out pretty quickly. Is like there's a difference between somebody getting scared and having a reaction, and then deliberately doing something.
I've learned that it usually comes with a pause. If there is no hesitation, that's usually just a pure reaction. And especially if they apologize after, if they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like that's an accident. And if it doesn't hurt us, we'll just let it slide because we understand fight or flight, whatever. But if we do get hurt, obviously we're going to have to fill out an incident report and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But if we don't get hurt, you just like took the wind out of us a little bit, or just like, ow, light slap on my face. I got a little bit of a rosy cheek now. Like, that's fine. Not fine. Like, don't do that. But we'll forgive you and we'll move on. But if someone gets scared and then there's slight hesitation and then they throw a punch, it's like, that's not the reaction. That's just you choosing to be a jerk and hitting me. Don't do that. So I've definitely had both those things happen many times. So when I was the wolf, a lot of people pet me. It was weird. I understand that, but also gross.
Also, that's a form of touching, and they say, we don't touch you, you don't touch us. So
the worst thing I've ever seen, not ever seen, but I hated seeing this. When an adult would encourage the kid to push an actor down, and then when the actor got back up, the adult would go say, you can't touch us, you're not allowed to touch us. It's like, you just encouraged the kid to push the actor. It goes both ways. We're not allowed to touch you, but you're also not allowed to touch us. So security, what the hell? And I hated seeing that, because unfortunately I did see that quite a few times on the streets, where people would encourage other people to like push or touch the actor, and then they would shout, you can't touch us. Okay, well, let me get security, because they could definitely touch you. My favorite thing was when someone would try and pet me and then realize I'm really sweaty.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's my thing. Like, don't touch me because like don't touch me, but also don't touch me because it's gross. I'm really sweaty.
Also, I don't know where your hands have been.
Yeah.
Okay. But
hopefully now, because of the mess, hopefully that the mess is going to make that go away, where people are making those decisions.
Well, I am hopeful. I'm hopeful, but I'm not expecting a lot with the people who like what are they called? Rat lickers? Is that what people are saying now? They're rat lickers. This is a term that I just learned where it is in reference to when there was the plague and there were rats carrying the fleas that had the bubonic plague that brought it to Europe and like wiped out majority of Europe. They call the people who don't wear the masks or don't wear them properly rat lickers, because in the bubonic plague era, they would be the people to be like, this is a hoax, I'm gonna lick this rat and be totally fine.
Ooh.
And then get the bubonic plague and then just spread the disease more. So that's...
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start using that now.
Yeah, so it's rat lickers. What are some of the other terms? Because there are definitely some other ones that I liked, but I need to look them up. It was something to do with masks. It was very clever play on words, and I can't remember the like better ones, but rat lickers. So I would say the rat lickers who would come through haunts, even if there was a rule, because you have them now. There's a rule that says...
True.
You're not supposed to touch guests, and they're not going to touch... You're not supposed to touch the actors are not going to touch you, and yet they still touch people. So even if there's a rule in place, no matter what the reason, there's always going to be those people that are going to test the boundaries.
Yeah.
So,
Life finds a way, as Dr. Malcolm says.
Yes, it does. Jurassic Park. I know the reference. Haha!
I understood that.
I understand things sometimes. Sasu Insanity. I sometimes want to wear a green shirt, go to my chiropractor adjustment, take it off and reveal a neon green shirt underneath it, say I'm a glow stick. That is random, but I love that. I want to do that now. Also, cosplay is not consent. Applies to all actors and cosplayers. True, true.
Yes.
I just hope no one becomes even more of jerks to actors. We could all be hopeful for that. I always hope that. I always hope that there's some sort of improvement in people's behavior.
Yeah, and consent is not just like touching either. It's like talking and like asking for photos when you're like eating a sandwich. Like read the room.
Read the room.
Like many a times have I been like dressed up as like Anna from Frozen, like eating my lunch at a convention, and I'll have people come up and just take a photo of me, and they're like, oh, it's Princess is eating sandwiches. I'm like, one, ask for it, and I will politely decline and say that I will finish my sandwich and then take a photo with you later. But also, like, why do you need a photo of a princess eating a sandwich? Is that your dream?
Weird collectors.
Yeah.
Weird collectors out there. I will also say this, if anyone finds me out and about, not during the mess, please and thank you, but when things are safe to do so, and you see me at a convention, or hopefully not at a haunt, because I'll be in character and I won't be able to take pictures anyway, but if you see me out and about, you see this face, and I'm doing cosplay or just being myself or whatever, feel free to ask for a picture. I will take pictures with people who are nice about it, but if you just come up and take a picture, I'm gonna get mad.
Yeah, I will normally, like 9 times out of 10, do it. Like maybe I'm on my way somewhere like really quickly, or I'm eating, and like, but normally I will say yes and take a photo. Just ask. Simple, like, hey, can I take a photo?
There's also that logic of like, say you're at Disneyland and you're trying to meet a princess or something. Just as an example, if everyone had the same logic of like, but I'm just one more person, don't close the line before me, then the line will never end. So I would appreciate if people are more understanding of, and don't take it personally when a line cuts out before them, or if someone's like, no, because I have to eat or something. Like if a celebrity is standing around and they wanted to just buy a Jamba Juice, let's bring Jamba Juice into this again. If they just wanted to buy a Jamba Juice, for example, and then they get swarmed with like 20 people because they're a celebrity and they're like, oh my god, I want to take a selfie. Oh my god, I want to take this and that. They might be a nice person. They have no obligation to do so. But they might be a nice person and say like, sure, I'll take a photo with some people, but I just want my Jamba. I don't like it when people get upset when they take pictures with like a few people, but not everybody who's swarming them. Because, you know, first it started with like 20 people. It might have grown to like 50 or something. They're not there to take photos, they're just there to buy their smoothie. So it's like, if someone politely declines for whatever reason, I would appreciate it if the people wouldn't take it so personally. And it's disappointing because you missed an opportunity, but don't be so sad about it. It's like, Why are you taking this? Why are you so mad about this? I hate it when people are so mad. Like, how dare you deny me a photo with you? It's like, well, they're the person in the photo. You're asking for a photo. They can say no.
Yeah.
But that's a side tangent. That's very much a side tangent. How many characters have you played? And I'll add this to that. Are there any characters that you want to play and haven't yet? And it could be a vague kind of character or whatever, but is there any character that you haven't played yet that you really want to one day? Add it to the bucket list.
Let's see. I've how many characters have I played? I usually play one a season. Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a season where I've played more than one. Sometimes people jump around if there's like an open slot or something, but I've only really played one a year, so like 6, I think, 6 or 7. And my dream roles.
Yeah.
I would love. I don't know how they would ever do this, but I would love a Final Destination maze. That is my favorite. I feel like they could have a lot of fun with like the production value of that because of all like the insane death scenes and stuff. It would be great practical special effects and just be really fun. But I would love for that to be a maze and then play Ali Larder's character in that. Because Final Destination is my favorite horror movie of all time, and it's actually my 4th favorite movie of all time.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
The Goonies.
Goonies. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Goonies, Frozen, Avengers, Final Destination.
I was surprised that Frozen wasn't number 1. But that
a lot of people are.
Yeah.
But Frozen 2 came out a year ago tomorrow. But
Happy anniversary, Frozen 2.
So good. But it didn't because I based them off of like an impact they had on my life.
That's
and the Goonies had a bit more of an impact than Frozen did, and then Frozen is like a very close second. It's almost beating the Goonies, but it never will because of the nostalgia factor.
That's fair. Yeah. Okay. I've seen a couple Final Destination films, and I really enjoyed watching the that was one of the few films that I watched where I was grossed out, but not so grossed out that I cringed and never wanted to see it again. You know, it teetered, it walked that line, that very fine line very well for me personally. But there have definitely been movies where I'm like, too much gore. I like psychological thrillers way better.
I like the ones that like linger, like the horror movies that linger.
The ones that make you think.
Quick story. Final Destination is my favorite horror movie and 4th favorite because I back in the day, I might date myself, but we used to have these like DVD players we would put in cars for when we they would like attach to like the seats and like into like the cigarette lighter. We'd be able to watch DVDs. Well, on our like 8-hour drive from North Carolina to Florida for Disney World, I would watch movies, and the DVD for Final Destination got stuck in there. So it was the only movie I could watch. So I either would just like sit there for 8 hours and do nothing, or watch Final Destination. So I watched it over and over again for 8 hours.
Oh my God.
There and back. So like 16 hours altogether. And it was either going to be my least favorite movie of all time or like one of my favorites. And it was the latter. It just became that great for me. I had this giant poster in my room. It was like, there are no second chances. You can't cheat death. And my mom was like, it's a really weird poster for you to have, you 12-year-old. And I was like, I know. I love it though.
My mom used to test me and my love of horror because I grew up in a very conservative home, and I never really watched we watched movies and stuff as a family, but I was the straight A student who was doing all the extracurriculars, and I had no time for those like movies and stuff, but I love movies, so I would still take time to do it. And I never really ventured out to try horror movies. I don't remember what my first one was, but I remember asking my mom if we could try a horror movie, and she was like, okay. She can't handle horror, so she kind of like projects onto me, and she's like, you can't handle horror because I can't handle horror. And I'm like, let's try it. So I think my first movie was The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock.
That's a great one.
It was great. I enjoyed it. I did not get scared at all. And then I watched Psycho, and I was very interested in that. Did not get scared at all. So then my mom's like, okay, weird kid, let's test this. I'm gonna get you Carrie, because it gave me nightmares when I was a kid. So, like, the original Carrie, not the remake. And so she gets Carrie, and my dad's in on it now, too. He's like, this gave me nightmares as a kid, so I'm very interested. So my brother and I, we were in the room watching it, and they're in another room. And there's that one scene, spoiler alert, but it's a classic. It's the iconic pig's blood being dumped on her when she's crowned prom queen. And the camera pans out to the audience, very slow motion, and everyone's just like, except for the one really mean girl in the front row of that, and it's all slow motion. She's literally the only one going, ha 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 ha, and like she's the only one. So it was such a funny thing for me and my brother to see. So we burst out laughing. And my mom and my dad burst into the room, and they go, why are you laughing? This gave us nightmares as kids. What's wrong with you? They never said what's wrong with you, but it had the implication of what's wrong with you.
I get you.
That's what I heard. They never said it. They're great parents. So my mom's like, okay, what do you want to try now? And I was like, The Exorcist, The Shining. The Shining is one of my favorite horror movies. I'll say that.
The Shining is number one movie that's ever scared me. I don't get scared by horror movies easily either. But it has to be like, if it's psychological, like it gets me. Like The Shining was very psychologically scary. It was like The Shining and The Ring. I guess if you have a "the" in the title.
Yeah,
The Ring really got me.
That's the pattern I'm seeing, is the is in the name.
And
it's
then,
gonna be scary.
Yeah, it's The Shining, The Ring. It was Paranormal Activity, but the top 3 has been dethroned by Hereditary. Now Hereditary is like number one.
I want to see Hereditary. I haven't seen it yet. I just saw Paranormal Activity 1 through 3 for the first time for Halloween. I'm very happy with that. I was very interested in that. We want to see the 4th one. My boyfriend and I want to see the 4th one, but we can't find it on the streaming service, and we don't want to pay for it. So
yeah,
whatever.
Don't pay for it.
No,
that's my review.
Don't pay for it. If we can find a way to watch it for free, we absolutely will. But we're not gonna pay for it. But I saw 1 through 3. That was great. I watched The Exorcist as a test from my mom, and that one did scare me. That was the one that left the impression. It didn't, like, give me nightmares or anything, but I was scared, but I was able to handle it at the same time. Yeah. And it was funny because I saw it twice, because at the first time I was like, what's happening? The second one was like, okay, I'm getting this a little more now. And then I was, when I was a senior in high school, I took a classics of horror class, because I was that into horror at that time.
That's awesome.
It was fun, but like the best part was we got to make our own horror movie. Oh, it was so fun. It was so fun. And that's when I was like, this is what I want to do with my life. So let's make horror movies. I love those. So
it's my dream to be in a horror movie, to die in a horror movie.
Let's make our own. I wanted to be the monster. I'll be the monster. You be the victim.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Like Paranormal
I want to be a
Activity.
Screams queen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do this. I'm serious, though. Like, I'm not just saying it. I'm serious. I want to find friends to, like, make horror movies with.
Please. Yeah, it's been a dream of mine. I did film a horror movie in like last summer. But that's all I will say. And it's it ended up not being what I thought it was going to be. So it basically was just like a very long hike. And then we filmed the thing, and I didn't get to die the way I wanted to die. And I hate when that happens. When you just don't die the way you want to. You don't
die the way you want to die, but you're dead, and you can't redo your death,
I know.
It sucks. You had one shot at it.
It was supposed to be bloody, and I was, like, really excited about a very bloody death, but then I had to film another scene later, and it was like, no budget, so I couldn't, like, clean it up and have, like, a different outfit, like the same outfit, so I had to, like, stay clean to film a scene from earlier in the movie later on.
That sounds like a producer issue, though. Whoever scheduled the scenes, they need to do a better job. So don't you worry. I got you. We will come up with a movie. We will film it when the mess is over, and we can do this. Let's talk about
something to look forward to.
Let's talk about blood. As a victim, let's get back to character stories.
Okay.
As a victim, I assume that you have to deal with a lot of fake blood.
Yes.
Is that true? So do you
Yes.
have like a favorite kind versus another kind? Do you have tips on how to like not feel gross having it on you and how to take it off effectively and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I had it with me. It's over in my bathroom. But I think it's called Skin Saver. Like literally just called Skin Saver. And I put that on anywhere where the blood is going to be applied. It's kind of like a lotion, and it helps break down the, I don't know the science of it, but I know it's every time I started using it, it's been easier to get the blood off at the end of the night. And
it doesn't prevent the blood from staying on throughout?
No, it still stays on really well, like as if you weren't wearing it.
So it's like a primer for your makeup.
Yeah, it's basically like a primer. That's the best way to explain it. And I think it's literally called Skin Saver. You can get it at any like special effects makeup place or online or anywhere.
Never heard of that. That's actually really helpful. Thank you.
I was having a lot of trouble my first year having blood on, and it just wasn't coming off because a lot of makeup artists will tell you there's different skin types just like will like keep it. It just like depends on your skin type and everything. And apparently my skin just loves to just retain the blood and like not let it leave. I would like sit there for like 30 minutes soaking in alcohol and it just would not come off.
Same. It was not going to come off at all, which is why I asked. I'm like, you have more experience with the fake blood than me. Do you have any tricks for me? I'm selfishly asking. But hey, you know, we're live and whoever wants to take this and run with it, go for it, you know?
So definitely, I would definitely recommend the Skin Saver. It really, really, really was a game changer. It doesn't like
skin saver.
It was a skin saver.
Yeah, literally a skin saver.
Literally. But there was like I was just having so much trouble, and I guess this makeup artist had been watching me for a couple days. And then she finally decided to come over and be like, "Come find me tomorrow." And I was like, "Oh,
cryptic and spooky. I like it. I will meet
it's like
you."
very horror. I'm down. Whatever happens, let's do this. You're pretty. I don't know.
I like the mysterious pretty lady. I'm gonna go.
But I went over to her and she put this Skin Saver on me, and ever since, the blood was a lot easier to get off. Like it doesn't like come off like you're wiping off dirt, but
yeah,
but it helps break it down a bit more at the end of the night.
So it'll only take 10 minutes instead of 30. Woo.
Yeah. But I usually it really depends. The blood that I have is broken down by alcohol and like an isopropanol like mixture and like oil. So I like drench myself in that and I let it soak in for probably about like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm just like standing there. It's really weird. People are like tentatively like patting on the alcohol, and then I come in and I take the whole bottle and they're like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And I just like pour it all over me, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you gonna set yourself on fire?" And I'm like, "Not today.
Maybe tomorrow.
But please, nobody light any matches." But I let it soak, and then I take a baby wipe and then I douse that in the alcohol isopropanol conjecture, and then I wipe off after I give the alcohol some time to break down the blood, and it really helps. And I move it in there, and then I wipe it off with the baby wipe.
And then you go home and you take a nice scrubby shower.
Yes.
Get the rest of it off.
Yes. I also hear shaving cream, like men's shaving cream, like the foamy white stuff kind, is really, really helpful too. You just put it on, let it soak in.
I heard Jennifer Lawrence's boyfriend at the time when she was filming for X-Men broke up with her because she used that shaving cream and like smelled like a man, and he hated the smell that would linger after she would use the shaving cream. I'm like, what a dick move.
Wow.
Like, she's just trying to get the makeup off, bro.
Yeah.
She's just
it
doing
really
her
helps.
job. It really helps. And you can't just deal with it while she's filming. It will eventually go away when she's done filming. But I heard that story and I was like, really? Really? Good riddance to that guy. Let's see. Any tips for warming up to be a victim, like how to prep to be leaned the whole shift, etc.?
Leaned.
Leaned, like if you're leaned up against something or
right.
because as a victim, you know, like we're in weird positions.
Yes.
And we're like that for hours on end. So, do you have any tips?
Yeah, I do a lot of neck isolations beforehand. Because I mean, one of the biggest things that I ran into is I would have a lot of neck problems because I would be cranking it back to like look at what is going on, or like looking at my partner, or like looking at the guests, and like my body's already in a strange position. So I do a lot of neck isolations with that and a lot of neck stretches. You should definitely stretch your entire body beforehand. Sometimes in mazes and scare zones and things, like they'll have like a stretching session, or just come up with your own. A lot of time you might not think that you would need to stretch because you think you're not really going to be doing much because you're in one position the whole time. But stretching really helps because you are still doing repetitive motion, so you really want to get your ergonomics working for you. And definitely stretching between sets too, because your body needs to keep being warmed up and everything. I definitely would wear knee pads when I had to like kneel, and like have a cushion underneath. I would constantly be asking. They're like, you have to act and prepare a monologue for me.
Please
to
share
this
cushion.
And you have to honestly be your own advocate a lot of the time, to make sure that you're getting the right things for you to be able to do the job well. Like asking for like knee pads, or like even getting your wrists wrapped because you have to like hold yourself up a lot of the time, or like stretching and just like speaking up and like working with your supervisors or your higher ups or your partner to make it as safe as possible.
Don't be afraid to speak up if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you need something, say it. The worst that can happen is they will say, no, you gotta deal with that. And then it's up to you to make the choice of like, can I deal with this? Or would it be safer for me to just walk away from the job? Because you might have to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it never hurts to ask. Because a lot of the time you might
not ask.
It will hurt to not ask. And then, you know, you could hurt yourself more. And then if you keep doing the same thing without having them change it. And it could just be a simple fix. You never know.
You never know. Better to ask. And you can't receive it if you don't ask for it. So just let them know.
Nobody's a mind reader as much as they wish they were.
No one can read minds. So speak up or forever hold your peace. And deal with not having knee pads and for hours and then having your knees be red and scratched up and can't stand up after. It's like gripping something for too long. You're like, ha ha ha. Ow, what does it feel like to hold something for that long? Wow. So Insanity, any funny or awkward moments from working with scene partners? That's a good question.
I had a scene partner accidentally stab me in the eye with the prop once.
Whoa!
Yeah. It wasn't my normal scene partner because he wasn't there one night, and so I had to work with an alternate. And my normal scene partner and we had like this dance going on that we wouldn't anticipate each other's moves. We would know exactly where we were going to be whenever we were going to be it. Like it just like worked well. But this new guy didn't know when I was going to sit up, when I was going to lay down, like when I was going to move or do anything. And I moved up at the wrong time, and it just like slid right into my eye. I was completely fine. And
good. I was like, and now she's blind. You can't tell.
Yeah, now I have a glass eye. No.
That's so realistic.
It was completely fine, and it was like a rubber prop. So I was like knocked about for like a second. I was like, oh, okay. That happened. And then he felt so bad about it, and I just had him buy me some fries, and then we were good to go.
Take advantage of it. Yes. Buy me fries and we'll be good. I love that.
I mean, because like accidents happen. You know, you can't speak to each other when you're in there. You're just there, and you got to just kind of anticipate what people are doing. You can have a conversation before and like work out it beforehand, but a lot of the time it's like improv in the moment. So you
William knows. William knows my poor not communicating, gonna do whatever I want-ness. William knows. I don't know. Are you familiar with the story of where I like ran off set?
No.
No? Okay, I've told the story so many times, but for those who don't know, I also have it in YouTube and TikTok form because I love this story. Sasu goes, I'm glad he was super nice about it, though. Bet he was equally, oh crap. Yeah, by the sounds of it, he was. So, yeah. Anyway,
it was an accident.
I was Grindstone Kill. William was my Jason at the time. And we had this plan to switch partners because the Grindstone girls were on 30-minute sets and the Jasons were on like 45s, and they would switch around the maze a bit. So, we were in charge of knowing when we were supposed to switch. Mm-hmm. So I had a watch on, and I can see in the corner of my eye in this little nook area off to the side if my partner was there. And if she was there, then it was up to me to tell my partner when to switch. And the way we did that was when Jason would step forward, it was like this cycle that we would go through where grind the face, I scream, he steps forward to scare the crowd, comes back, and back into the grindstone over and over and over again. So when he stepped forward, and I saw in the corner of my eye my partner was there, we would wait for him to come back to grab our head. Originally, he would push it into the grindstone, but we would grab his hand, and that was his sign to do the switch. So he would, like, grab us, drag us off, and then switch, and then drag back on the other person. Right? So that was what we would do. I got this brilliant idea while I was on set. That doesn't make goddamn sense. Why would Jason drag the victim off just to drag her back on? She should run and try and escape, and then he drags her back on, right? So I yell up to William, I go, I'm gonna run, but not so loud that the guests could hear. I was hoping that he could hear, but he had music in, and he could not, apparently did not hear me at all. So when it came time for the switch, I just got up, and as I was running off, I like tapped him lightly to hopefully let him know, like, I'm not there anymore. He didn't feel that either through the coat. So I just ran off, and I was with my partner, and she's like, did you just run off? I'm like, yeah, I thought it was a better, like, plot storyline idea. Makes more sense for the character. William comes back from scaring, looks, sees I'm not there, looks back at the nook with both of us just kind of waving at him, and he's like, runs off. It's one of my favorite stories of like how William and I met and became friends and stuff. He was like, why did you do that? I'm like, I told you I would run. He's like, I didn't hear you. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm gonna run from now on, just so you know. And he's like, you couldn't have told me, like, off on another set or something? And I was like, nope, I had the idea and I went with it. I mean...
Sometimes you just go with ideas. And my usual partner usually, like, would go with any idea that I would come up with, and I would go, like, on the fly, but... because we were like in tune with each other.
Yeah, you definitely get in tune with fellow scare actors when you've been working with them for a while. Like, you know how their mannerisms, you kind of know what their timing is, what kind of scares they do, and it really helps when you work with the same person a lot of the times. And scaring is a lot of improv, so if anyone's thinking of being a scare actor, I would highly recommend taking like an improv class or two.
Yeah.
Just to know how to be grounded in the moment so that you can take whatever people give, because you might have to interact with guests in character. You might have to improv your way out of a situation, still in character. Like, the most important thing is stay in character. So our time's been up, so sorry. We are well over time, but that's okay.
Sorry.
I'm okay. Like, I've got nothing going on. I just don't want to be disrespectful of you and your time. So.
Oh no, I'm doing nothing.
Oh, sweet.
I'm living such an exciting life of nothing.
So let's chat a little. Got any plans for Thanksgiving?
No.
Catching up with friends, guys. Just Kristen's a friend in real life. Like we've actually scared together. Like
Zoom is I think they're getting rid of their 40-minute time limit for Thanksgiving.
Yay.
On Thanksgiving Day, so that should be nice.
That'll be nice.
Zoom with some. My family's in North Carolina, so my dad was like, "You coming home for the holidays? We haven't talked about it." I'm like, "No, no, I'm not."
There's a thing going on around the world that could kill anybody at any time, so no.
Yeah, and like our states are doing different things, so I don't want to bring what's going on anywhere else.
Yeah, and California is definitely one of the higher with the wave going on and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna visit my family, but we're all being tested first.
That's good.
Just to make sure. So my boyfriend and I are getting tested tomorrow afternoon, just to make sure. And I always say evening because we wake up in the afternoon. I'm like, oh God, I have to wake up early. I don't have a morning. I have to wake up early for a 2:30 appointment. That's just life right now, you know? So we're gonna get tested. My whole family is hopefully gonna get tested too, because I don't want them to give me anything, and I don't want to give them anything. But yeah, we go all out for Thanksgiving, and it's also my mom. Well, the reason we're also making that effort to like visit family is because it's my mom's birthday on Thanksgiving, and then 2 days after is my boyfriend's birthday. So we're celebrating 2 birthdays and a Thanksgiving, and it's my mom's favorite holiday. So we got to do that. And then if we can't do Christmas, we can't do Christmas, but at least let's do Thanksgiving, because that's like also people's birthdays, and we haven't seen each other in a while. So we're going to try that, but we're doing it as safe as possible. We're driving, so we're not flying or anything. So
yeah, I can't drive to North Carolina.
Exactly, not unless you take tickets to do it and like stay in random hotels, and who knows who stayed there, and you know the mess and everything. So well, I hope that you get to talk with your family and stuff. That would be great. Yeah. Without
Thanksgiving wasn't ever like a big thing for my family, so mainly Christmas will be kind of sad this year, but because I'm also not working, and I'm normally working on Christmas.
Right. So yeah. This year I'm not. Yeah. Long distance is hard. I get it. And I'm sorry it's so rough for you, but I'm glad that they're lifting the 40-minute time limit for Zoom, so you could just like chill with your family all day long.
Yeah. I'll just sit here while you guys eat mashed potatoes. I'll eat my own.
I'll get my single serving of instant mash right here. Just, grateful for everything. We were almost stuck in England, actually, when that whole mess started happening. Yeah, we barely got back right before the lockdown really happened. So we were, just got in under the wire there. But Glenn's family is in England, so we had to go for like a little reunion. It's a sad reason, I won't get into it, but we went to visit family and make sure everyone's okay and everything, and then we flew back. That weekend after we flew back was when everything shut down. So
yeah,
woo, okay.
Yeah, I was in North Carolina like a week before everything got shut down for my dad's retirement party, and I was like, Dad, you probably had the last large gathering.
Yeah, that was true.
Because like everybody flew in from New York and like California and like all sorts of things, and like no one was allowed to do that a week later.
Yeah, no. Oh wow, that's great that they were at least able to have that one last bang, you know.
Yeah, I was really grateful for that, because I don't know when I'll be able to go back.
Hopefully
so I was like,
sometime next year. Like spring is supposed to be a good time when things are gonna calm down. I don't know. I don't want to give any false information, so I'm not gonna say any more of that.
Just fingers crossed for soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed for everything. I liked how it started off with like, by April everything will be fine. By May everything will be fine. July at the latest.
2 weeks.
By the end of the year, and it's the end of the year, and everything is still shut down, and it's gonna be even more shut down anyway. Yay, curfews. The curfew tonight. That's right. I can't go out anyway. Not that I would. What's life? But but yeah, so life's great. Just silence. Life's great. Thanksgiving.
So great.
Thankful. Grateful for things. Grateful for a lot of things. Ungrateful for a lot of things, but grateful for a lot of things. Can I tell you a funny dark humor story?
Always.
Real story. Now, this is funny to me. So, just to be clear, it's very funny. Laugh with me. All right.
Okay.
So, I just moved in with my boyfriend, right? And apparently here, to have my cats move in with me, it would have been a $500 deposit per cat plus $100 more rent per month. And I was like, oh, no, I don't have that. So I was like, you know what? I gotta get an ESA letter, which is also honest because they really are my emotional support animals. I got them after a really bad breakup and they helped calm me down. They helped me with my anxiety and stuff. So it's like, honestly, yeah, they should be my emotional support animals. Let's make it official. But that would also help financially. So yay, winner, winner, chicken dinner, let's do this. So I looked up how to get an ESA letter and it said a professional, mental health professional has to write the letter for you and say, yes, I deem that they need these emotional support animals for whatever reason, either depression or anxiety or PTSD or all the above in my case, woohoo. So I was like, I don't have a therapist. I'm gonna call any place that has an availability and I'll see if I could get this dang letter. So I make an appointment and the person on the line, the secretary, is like, yeah, don't tell them that it's for an ESA letter. They won't write it for you if they feel like that's the only reason you have this appointment. Like, just to help you out. I'm like, thanks, real girl. Thank you for that. So I talk on the phone with this, what I thought was just a therapist, like just certified therapist. And just to really drive it home and try and get them to the point that I want them to get at, they say, so why are you seeking therapy? And I immediately start sobbing. And I'm like, 'cause life is hard and this and that and this and that. But also, the reason I'm doing it right now is 'cause there's an extra stress of a move. And I don't know what to do with my cats 'cause the deposit is so much and I can't afford it. And they're my family and I don't know what to do. And I'm like sobbing. And she goes, oh yeah, that sounds like a really rough situation. I'm sorry you have to go through that. So in my head, I'm like, oh, she needs a little bit more push in the right direction. You know, I heard that if I get an ESA letter, I won't have to like pay all that money, so I'd be able to keep my cats, but I don't know how to get a letter like that. Do you know how I can get an ESA letter? And she goes, you know, I never do this with first-time clients, but it sounds like you really need this, so yes, I'll write your letter for you. I'm like, yes! Whoa! I did it! Ha! Victory! And she goes, also, I think you would be the perfect candidate for antidepressants and an anxiety medication, so I'm going to put you on this prescription. Start that and do it for like this length of time. And I went a little too far. So now I'm on antidepressants because of my acting. But it helps, you know? Why not? So that's the story. And she froze. And she's frozen. Kristen, come back! Ah! Oh, God. This is why Tech hates me. I tell this whole story, and she did not hear any of it. Hold on. Kristen! No! Oh, it's exactly 11 o'clock. That might mean internet kicked out for either one of us. So, well, this is fun. Kristen!
I'm here.
Oh my God, where'd you go?
My internet just decided to leave.
I thought that might be the case. I was just saying, like, it's 11 o'clock. Internet tends to kick out around this time most places. Huh. What was the last thing you heard? Did you hear all that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, I did.
Okay, so now I'm on antidepressants.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me. So that was the story.
Hey, whatever helps.
It does, honestly. It's been helping. I don't mind talking about it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a big mental health advocate. I see a therapist once a week.
Nice. But yeah, it turned out she was a psychiatrist that whole time. So if I said no to the medication, it would have looked even more suspicious. So
very true.
So I had to say yes. I was like, oh, I've been talking to a psychiatrist this whole time, not just a therapist. Whew. But I got my letter, and that's the important thing.
And now you have your cats, and you're living, you're moving.
I moved. I have my cats. I don't have to break the bank for them anyway. And I have my letter. That's good for 2 years, too. So if I have to move somewhere else, it's still good. so I don't have to
Awesome.
go through all that again. But yeah, so any other Scare Actor related questions, anybody, before we call it a night? I think it's about time we should call it a night, especially with your internet kicking out. So I hope you've been having fun. I'm sorry I've been talking
I
your
did.
ear
This
off,
was
but
this was a lot of fun. It's like, I mean, I like to schedule things. You know, I have a lot of virtual things that I do like at certain days during the week. So it's just nice to have something on the books.
Yeah,
something to put on my calendar that I bought that I don't use, because 2020 doesn't have any events.
Right before everything went down, I got this really nice dry erase board that has like the 4 months to it, and I was like scheduling stuff ahead of time, and I'm like, yeah, look at this, 4 months out, I know exactly what's gonna happen. And then everything shut down. I'm like, well, there goes that idea. Nothing for
I feel that.
months. Sasu and Cindy, at least your person actually listened to you. I got approved for my ESA. Oh, your cat. Had my anxiety, depression acknowledged, but low-key she just was like, okay. And not my GP is my person. Oh, I'm sorry about that experience. I wish people like actually listened. My boyfriend had a therapist who was not listening at all, and I felt so bad because I was the one to encourage him to get therapy and help him through the year, you know? So I was like, sorry, the person you hired sucks. Wish people were better about that. It's your profession.
Yeah, you gotta shop.
Listen. Like, come on. Sauce and Sandy also, thank you, Kristen, for sharing your experiences. Faith goes, this was so much fun. Yes, thank you everyone for joining.
You're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
I love scare acting, and if anything, and I want to share the love with the world. So people, everyone should be a scare actor. It's very therapeutic. It's very fun.
It's very fun.
I've
Get
met
fun
the best
stories
people
for
I
at
know
the very least.
there.
Yeah, making friends.
Most of my friends actually now are people that I've met while scare acting.
Same, and it's like, I don't know, just the vibe is different with those kind of people, you know? Like, they just understand. They get it.
We all
And they're
understand each
cool,
other.
chill, whatever.
I've also gotten like a lot of amazing opportunities like elsewhere through people that I've met at haunts.
Nice. So that's always a plus. Get to know people. It's all about who you know, and you only get to know people through doing things. So do the things you love to do. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But Kristen, is there anything you'd like to promote? Any self-promotion you'd like to do to end this session?
Yeah, I'm a musician. I'm working on a new song.
She's a great singer. Just saying.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been working on a new song with a producer that I actually got from somebody that I worked with last year. It's as the scare actor, and another one of those awesome opportunities. It's been fun. I've been working through like sending, like recording it at my home and then sending it to him, working at home, and he sends it back to me. I send notes and stuff. So it's all been really nice to be able to do that safely and social distancingly. That's a new word now, social distancingly.
I understood what you meant, so it's a word now. Going back to the funnest.
I'm almost done with it. I'm hoping to have it out sometime in December, if not early January. So look for that on. Look for updates on my Instagram, or I'm Auburn Mystique on all of the social medias. I used to say except Snapchat, but now I am actually on Snapchat.
Nice.
Because I started to actually understand it. It's Auburn like the hair color, Mystique like the X-Men. I no longer have the hair color, but because quarantine, you know, I got the roots came in and I had to just let them go in.
Oh,
so now I'm blonde again.
Well,
but yeah, so follow me on those for updates. It's called I Have an Ex-Boyfriend, and it's a new sound for me, and I'm really excited for it, and it's going to be something really special. So look out for that soon.
Yeah, so follow her on all the things, especially Instagram if you're interested in getting those updates on the new music video, and that's exciting stuff. Musician, what genre? Sasu and Sandy goes followed. So
thank you.
Yeah, so what genre?
It's like pop rock with some country elements in there, kind of like Taylor Swift type stuff, you would say.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, go ahead and follow her. Also for like other SCAREACTOR and other fun random stuff that she's doing. So, and also on TikTok, because you said you might update with more videos at some point. So do that. Follow my friends on all the things. They're talented and wonderful, and I love them so much. Yes. Abe! Oh my god, Abe! We were just about to end the stream! Says late to the party, but hello to you both. Hi, Abe!
Hi, Foamy! I miss you.
Miss you so much. I hope everything's going well with you. I'm in Anaheim now, as I told you earlier. So, I'm further away. I don't know where you are right now, actually. I'm
in North Hollywood. I'm also further away than I
used to be in NoHo. Now I'm not. Sasu, I blame these live streams for my changing Instagram feeds. Sorry, not sorry. Abe goes, hey, you two. Miss you both. We need to catch up. Abso-freaking-lutely. Abe, if you want to be interviewed, hit me up. Because I've been interviewing fellow SCAREACTOR friends, and who better to interview than my first supervisor in LA? I mean, so let's...
Oh, he was your supervisor that year? That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how we became friends, actually. Yeah, he was my supervisor, and he liked my Kingdom Hearts jacket that I had, my sweatshirt, so we would, like, chat all the time about Kingdom Hearts, and we got closer since then, and yeah. We're friends.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, supervisor interviews. If you're interested, Abe, I don't mean to put you on the spot. Just hit me up if you're interested. I'm scheduling people for December. Abe goes, LOL, have your people call my people. Yes, Kingdom Hearts. I missed your cats. They grew up quite a bit since you last saw them. So, and it's so funny because Buckaroo, my boy, he's definitely... becoming a little like daddy's boy with Glenn, because ever since moving in, he loves to cuddle me, of course, but if Glenn and I are both on the couch and he gets in those really cuddly moods, he will default to Glenn. It's really funny.
Aww.
And he'll just like cuddle on his chest and go purr purr. It's so cute. But yeah, I want to make TikToks with my cats. I want to dress them up in different things and reenact famous movie scenes, and
people love cats.
People love cats, and I got cats, so why not take advantage? I'm that mom. I'm that show mom, you know? Abraham, favorite victim scare moments for both of you. Victim kill moments for both of you. Okay, we'll close out on that. How about that? We'll each say our favorite kill moments. You go first.
Favorite kill moment. I'll go with my, a couple of years ago, in that maze, when I was cut in half and I was leaning forward. I would again, people don't think I'm real. I would often play dead and then, jump out and scare people. I had a track that would go off so that we wouldn't ruin our voices, which I was very grateful for.
Yeah.
I got really down. I got the track down because I would hear it on a loop over and over again for 30 minutes. So I got it really down. And I didn't know her at the time, but now she's one of my friends. But one of my friends now walked through several years ago. And then she was telling her supervisor, she was like, wow, that girl is really good. I wonder how she doesn't hurt her voice. And the supervisor goes, oh, there's a track. And she was like, wow, she is really good. I thought that was her real voice. She was so good at acting the track. And I've had a few people actually tell me that they thought that I was actually screaming so what do you do with your voice? And I'm like, oh no, it's a track. Don't worry. I'm just I just have it down. You should have done
that old grandma voice. Be like, I always talk like this. Actually, it's on a track.
Yeah, I smoke a lot, so that's what happens.
It's pre-recorded.
But those are always my favorite moments when people are actually I get so into it that I'm sometimes even actually crying.
I love that. I'd say for me, I have two favorite kill moments. One, I shouldn't be saying to someone who was my supervisor, but it wasn't really a scary moment. It was super slow in our maze. This is when I was grindstone kill Abe. And this is where I learned how to do the floss dance.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the pool Jasons was across from me doing the neck slit. And I was there. I forgot who my Jason was at the time. But whoever was that pool Jason across from me just started flossing. And I was watching him. And there were no guests or anything at this point. But I was watching him. I'm like, how does he do that? So I like mimicked him. And that's how I learned. And then we were just like flossing the whole time. And then a random guest appeared and just sprinted through screaming. And we just went... And then we just went back and like started scaring again because like that's when people went through. But she just like ran through screaming, and I don't think she really acknowledged that we were floss dancing.
She was like, if I don't see it, it's not happening.
Pretty much. Like she was like, oh no, just running through.
Yeah, just really quickly, I think my favorite actual like moment was what I talked about earlier, is when I cut myself in half.
Yeah, I like that for sure.
Great.
And then my other favorite moment as a kill, I was arrow kill for like 20 minutes. I don't know. Rachel and I switched. I talked about this in previous live streams in case people have heard this story on my TikTok quite a few times because I love it so much. But I was arrow kill. Rachel wanted a break from her back, so she and I switched for a day because we look like the same person anyway. So we switched costumes, having approved. We were approved for that. We didn't just randomly do it. We got approval. So we switched. She was grindstone for the day. I was arrow kill. I eventually got pulled to pool for the saw maze. But before that happened, I was arrow kill for like a set. And I pretended to be like one of the dummies next to me. There were 2 dummies next to me. I did the mannequin scare where I pretended to be dead, waited for a group, and then I would come to life with my knife and it'll go, you know, arrows are in me, so I'm dying. And then I would like go back up against the bullseye again and then like die in front of people and then wait for a new crowd and then come back to life. And I would just keep doing that over and over again. But there was this one guy with a camcorder who was coming through filming everything with some of his friends. And he goes up to each dummy and goes, that's fake. That's fake. Goes up to me and goes, that's really fake. And I was like, oh, hell no. And I come to life, scared him so bad that he drops to the ground and crawls away without his camcorder. And his friend had to, like, while screaming about the same thing that just happened, picks up the camcorder and runs away with the person. And I thought that was so funny. It's like, I made you drop. You thought I was fake. Son, I'm real.
Those are the best moments, is when you can hear them say, oh, that's so fake. And then you come alive and they're like, oh my God.
That's my favorite thing. But I hate it when they're stupid about it. I told this story in another interview before too. I'm running out of stories, which is why I'm interviewing people. To tell their stories, and yet I'm telling the same stories over and over again. Me, chatterbox. But because you don't know this, I used to work at a place called the San Francisco Dungeon, and in case you don't know what that is, it is a live theatrical experience about San Francisco's dark history, owned by the same company who also does Madame Tussauds, the Wax Museum. So in San Francisco, if you go to Madame Tussauds, the dungeon is like connected to it, and you would go room to room to room, be monologued by people like me, and it's like somewhat interactive theater, but each room talked about a different part of San Francisco's dark history. So the first one was Deliverance, and the character, if it's a woman, is Madame Jules Simone, and the reference for that we were given was Willy Wonka mixed with a snake. So we were like charming and wonderful, but also conniving and sneaky, and we trick people to go through the dungeon, and that's how they get tricked to go and be doomed to go into the dungeon. And then it's like Gold Rush, and then gangs, and then you go through. Oh my God, do you remember any of your dialogue? Little bit, just so little. But there's a couple times this happened, but I'll tell one specific story where I had an umbrella as my prop. If it was a guy, he was Colonel Jack Gamble, and he had a cane. But if you're Madame Jules Simone, you have the umbrella. And you start off the show with people line up in front of a door, and then I have to press the button to open the door and close it. So the door opens, and I'm like bowing, and then I let them in and gesture to have them come into the room. Once everyone is in, I close the door, and here's the trick. I was not supposed to say anything until my first line when I am up on my stage. So I couldn't say anything, but the way I was moving, it's hard to explain. So really quickly, I'll explain. The character reference was Willy Wonka mixed with a snake, but what I decided to take with the character was she is literally the devil's puppet. So I would move like a puppet ever so often. Like sometimes she would be like move smoothly, but then every so often she'd like jitter and then move like that. And it created like another element to the character, which creeped people out so much. And I was so happy about that. But
awesome.
I think that had something to do with this thinking. So I like led people in. They filled in the room. I go up my steps. I go to the wagon and I wait until people are completely silent. And if they take a long time, I'll just go, shh, wait for people to be silent. After they've been silent for a few seconds, I go, welcome to the San Francisco dungeon. Dungeon, what's going to happen in the dungeon? Well, allow me, Madame Jules Simone, enlighten you. And then I would start the whole thing. But as I was waiting this one time, waiting for people to be silent, I hear someone go, is she an animatronic?
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you saw me lead you in, close the door, walk up these steps, and interact with you a little bit like I'm looking at you, and you still thought I was an animatronic at this point? Really? So instead of saying, welcome to the San Francisco dungeon as my first line, I just look at him and I go, no, I'm a person. Welcome to the San Francisco dungeon. And he like falls backwards and goes, oh no, she's real. And I love that.
Awesome.
But yeah. So I love when people think that we're fake, and then we bust out.
It's my favorite thing because like those are the moments where, as a victim, you can get some scares in.
True.
For the mannequin scares and take your moment. Take your moment.
Yeah. Oh, Abe, it's not an escape room because it's not like you're solving a puzzle and trying to escape. It's literally you're like led room to room to room and you're like monologued at and like somewhat interactive. If you're ever in London, I highly recommend doing the London dungeon. We did that when we were in London and it is so much better than the San Francisco one. I'm sorry. I love my home. I love working there and everything, but I gotta say the London one, they take so much better care of it. There is an actual boat ride rather than our rinky-dinky little like move 50 meters this way ride, so that breaks all the time. So I never got to try the drop ride because that was installed after I had left the San Francisco dungeon, so I don't know what that one's like. But also, that's the original dungeon, so they're going to take better care of it. And there are a lot of, like, more fleshed out stories, rather than them fitting the scripts for San Francisco. Like, the plague, yeah, technically that came to San Francisco, but the script was based off of the script in the London one, where it's like, yeah, the plague was here. Hi! In San Francisco, it was like one guy got it once, and they were like, good enough! Use the plague room. It's like, no. So the London one's the original one. But the San Francisco one is cool too. It's really entertaining. But yeah,
awesome.
We always said, not that kind of dungeon. That was a typical line.
You'll be allowed out.
And it's supposed to be kind of like raunchy, but the San Francisco one is more censored because we had too many people complain. But it's supposed to be kind of raunchy. Anyway, Abe, sounds like something to add to the bucket list. Sure, if you want. I would like to tell stories to people who actually know what I'm talking about. So if you ever go through it, let me know. And I'd be like, oh my God, I have stories now that you have, like, you've seen
a visual.
Abe, love you both. Sorry I was late. Happy to hear the end of the live interview. I'm happy that we were able to take just like a few more extra minutes.
Happy to have you here, Foamy.
Just for you, Abe. We stayed on a little longer, and I chatted everyone's ear off just to buy time for you, Abe. I love you.
Knew you were coming, Abe.
Yeah, he goes, love you, Foamy.
Love you, Foamy.
Foamy. All right, well, Abe goes, thank you, I feel special. You are special, I love you so much. We need to catch up. Let me know if you want to be interviewed. and I'll schedule you for December. Okay, I will end with my own self-promotion, if that's all right with everybody. Thank you so much for everyone being here for the live stream. My name is Noelle, also charge_and_die on all the things. Follow me here on YouTube if you don't do so already. I go live Mondays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 p.m. Eastern, interviewing fellow SCAREACTOR friends of mine so that they could tell their SCAREACTOR stories. However, I'm not going live next week because of Thanksgiving. I'll be with my family. So this is actually the last live stream of November. We will pick it back up in December, just letting you know that. Also, I go live Tuesdays normally on Twitch, charge_and_die, and I do SCAREACTOR plays horror, so I play a lot of horror games, depending on my anxiety levels, you know how it goes. But I've been playing a lot of Phasmophobia with my boyfriend and my friends, and I'm hoping to edit a highlight reel together for YouTube, so if you don't follow me on Twitch, you could still enjoy the scares that happen, but if you want to be part of the live stream in the chat, follow me on Twitch. I will not be going live on Tuesday because, once again, I will be with my family. So this is the last live stream of the month on all platforms.
Feel honored.
Yes. Oh, I'm glad I could end on a high note with you, Kristen. So we'll pick everything back up in December. Also, usually I do go live on TikTok, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, not 8, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, where I do a 16-tier competition game. And every category is different. It's like a dry erase thing, so we could pick a different category, different contestants each time. It's a fun, interactive game that I do Fridays, 5 p.m. I probably will not be able to because, once again, I'll be with my family. But follow me on TikTok if you don't already. If you found me through TikTok, thank you so much for supporting me on other platforms too. I will be making more TikTok videos soon. I just need to settle in from the move. So sorry, it's been taking a while, everybody. But I'm around. I'm on things. The most important thing, though, is Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, charge_and_die, because that's where you will get the most up-to-date updates on all the things I am doing, especially live streams. So if you're expecting a live stream, double check Instagram first, just in case there are technical difficulties. I need to cancel for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe I'm home with my family for Thanksgiving and you need to know there's not a live stream. Instagram is where you are going to find that out on my Instagram stories. So yeah, I think that's it. Cool. I'm like, is there more things? No, I don't think there is. I think that's all the things. So YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, all those things. TikTok and Twitch and Instagram. Yep, that's all the things. Thanks, guys. Have a good night, everyone. Kristen, don't hang up quite yet. I'm gonna end the live stream and I'll give you a more proper goodbye, but
cool. Thanks, guys.
You should just go live with your family. My family is very private. I'm like the only I'm here kind of person. Everyone else is like, I'm not on any social media. I don't want people knowing who I am, so we'll see. Faith goes by. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving and night, day, whenever it is there. Haha. Yes, Abe goes, we need to play online games too. Yeah, if you get Phasmophobia, I would love to play with you. Let me know. Specifically, we could play anything, but Phasmophobia is really fun if you enjoy horror games. I'm not trying to promote the game more than it already has been, but that's the main game I've been playing. Abe goes, love you too. Be safe. Good night. Love you too, Abe.
Love you.
Thanks, everyone, and have a happy and safe holiday next week if you celebrate Thanksgiving. Otherwise, just stay happy and safe, regardless of if there's a holiday.
Stay safe, y'all. Thank you.
Stay safe. And bye, everybody. See you in December.